I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome to Happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. The show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, hot topics, all that good stuff. So if that's the show for you, definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today, including the latest where looks like Funky Dineva, Claudia Jordan buried the hatchet. They did it over the weekend. And then he appeared on her show yesterday, so we're going to talk about that. Plus, we have a former Superman who ain't had a career since Lois and Clark was canceled. Apparently, is trying to go in on James Gunn's Superman, saying it's too woke, even though I'm sure he probably didn't even see the damn movie. So we have news on that. Plus, Freddie Prinze Jr. is opening up about reuniting with Jennifer Love Hewitt in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot. Koonye West, which should come as no damn surprise the way he treated his damn wife, because she looked like the white equivalent of Cassie. There's somebody who came out against him before. They are accusing him of SA, trafficking, and false imprisonment. His former assistant's coming out with this. Speaking of Koonye, we're going to talk about his ex-wife, who was mocked recently over her Paris Fashion Week runway walk. Kim Zolciak is opening up about all the plastic surgery she had recently, and also Brielle is opening up about all the things that she had done to her face, which is why she ain't even 30 yet, look out here looking like a 60-year-old housewife. You know, one of the housewives. And I'm talking about a regular housewife. I'm talking about the housewives over there at Bravo. Vylan is shutting down the IDF Chants at their first show post-Glastonbury. So we're going to get into that. Plus, Tina Knowles out here backpedaling yet again, saying she wasn't talking about Nicki Minaj. Girl, you were. We'll get into that. Alyssa Farah Griffin is out here whining and saying that she be crying over there backstage at The View because she's the sole one over there with the Republican opinion, and she feel like she out here all by herself. So she out here crying them old saltine crocodile tears. So we'll get into that. Plus, speaking of The View, it looks like Sonny got reason to celebrate because her husband just got off of that little RICO case that was going against him, where they were somebody he was getting kickbacks and all other stuff. So we'll talk about that. Plus, Castanet is being dragged for partnering with Tarjay because apparently he seems to forget that there's a DEI boycott going on. So there's that. Plus, it looks like a long-running homosexual talk show. I mean, well, not even a talk show, but a show nonetheless, is being canceled after 10 seasons. Speaking of homosexual shows, one of the former co-hosts on that show got himself a new gig while his former co-host is about to be unemployed. We got some drag race news regarding Lady Gaga fighting to stop the drag queens from being cut from A Star Is Born. RuPaul apparently went off on the season 15 queens during the reunion. That's something we didn't see, but one of the queens that was on at the reunion is spilling the tea. And as we get closer to the grand finale of the RuPaul's Drag Race season 17, which kicks off next week, we're going to talk about who will be the wild card queen that makes it to the grand finale, lip sync smackdown for the crown, that airs next week over on the no, not the Peacock, the Paramount Plus. There's a lot of P's, but so that's a lot of what we have running down. I know I wasn't here yesterday, so I apologize for that. I was going to do a show, but then again, it was just like, it was drier than the Sahara Desert out in these entertainment streets. Wasn't a lot of tea to spill, so I was just like, I don't want to do a show. And then on top of that, I don't think I wasn't really, my heart wasn't in doing a show yesterday, so that's why I took off. But today is a lot of tea. We got about 16 topics, and we gonna get into them. So before we get to said topics, if you could please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I will be putting in timestamps once the live stream is done, so that way those who come in for the later stream or the playback, I should call it, can just skip over to the topics at hand instead of having to sit through all the banter that we do in between topics. Oh, excuse me, I was eating potato salad before I went live. That was another reason why I was tardy for the party. And I was like, let me put something in my stomach, because Lord knows how long this episode is going to be based on all the topics that we got. All right, so let me hit my banner. And without further ado, let's get into our first topic, which is Funky Dineva and Claudia Jordan over the weekend during Essence Music Fest reunited, and it feels so good. And it was, and I love to see it. So I gagged because I didn't know that was coming. So apparently Funky went, and he already explained on what is it, Claudia's podcast that she has called Accidentally Informed, how the whole thing transpired. But how I came across it was Oliver Twixt, who, you know, used to do some behind the scenes stuff with T.S. Madison, but now he's off on his own doing his little thing here, there, and everywhere. It was also a part of Chasing Atlanta, I believe. I don't even know if that show's still on. But anyway, so yeah, Oliver Twix went and posted a video up on, because I gather, based if he posted it on his YouTube page, that he was there at the Essence Music Fest, which it seemed like everybody in Black Hollywood was there. But Funky apparently had a party. He went and invited Claudia Jordan, and basically they were kikiing and having a conversation. He went and did like a whole, you know, I want to work with you again, I apologize, all that other stuff. I do have a bit of that video. So yeah, shout out to Oliver, because I'm gonna play his video. So let me pull that up if I can remember how to deal with my own damn show. So I'll play a little bit of it, and then we will come back and talk. Please hold.
In my Instagram feed, YouTube feed across the last week, clips from TGIF, like where is the leg popped up, and go on to the next thing, Claudia popped up, and I was like, fuck, like we had like,
oh my God.
I thought about it. I said, I ain't really got no issue with that lady. Like I don't like. Yeah, there were certain things I didn't like, and I'm sure she can say the same thing about me. I was like, but bitch, Claudia was a good motherfucking time. Claudia was a good time. And so I was in my bed the other day. Did I reach out to you yesterday or the day before yesterday? Yesterday. And I just texted her. I have not texted her since shortly after we left TGIF. And I said, bitch, you coming to Assets? And I was testing the temperature. See if she was going to not answer or if it was going to be dry as fuck. And no, it was just normal. She was like, I'm packing my stuff and I'm coming. So I was like, okay, she met me with a spirit of reconciliation. So I was like, well, look, I'm having a party. And I was like, you know, you should come. Then I hit her back and I said, ooh, bitch, I'm sure that you want to find that we should see what. And she said, oh, I can't wait to see the comments. I want to work with you again. We had lightning in the bottle. We just fucking did. The space is there for.
All right, so I'm gonna just pause it there, so that way y'all have an idea. He said that basically he was open to working with her again, but then we have this video where so yesterday he went and actually appeared, because I was like in the middle of like still working on topics and all this other stuff behind the scenes on my website, and then I happened to come across this video of him over on Claudia's own new show called Accidentally Informed, where he sat down with Claudia and Erica Cobb, and basically talked about, you know, what transpired him to quit over there down at the TGIF. So let's go to that clip, and then we'll come back and we will talk. Please hold.
You're like a godfather of YouTube, like Black YouTube. So I get that, like, you're also in a position to be like, well, I'm already very successful on this platform.
How did I know they was going to play a damn ad?
But I'm going to also kind of turn this question a little bit, because you seem like the beef was really with the network, and because Claudia was a part of the creative and production, were you conflating her with the network? Because we did hear you say that the problem was Claudia. I have to ask that.
Absolutely not. And in the moment, post the show, when I did my video and I said, I don't have a problem with so-and-so, my problem is with that damn Claudia Jordan, I meant it when I said it, because it was. Because of things that had transpired post me leaving, or things that had gotten back to me, and things that I had witnessed and been a part of while I was there. Again, and I'm sure Claudia can say the same about me, that, you know, she had issues or problems or opinions. There's enough blame to go around. You know what I'm saying? And it was a cornucopia of things. It was not solely Claudia. It was not solely Al. And it was not solely the contract. If I'm being honest, it was the day-to-day bickering and crap that was going on in the background. That shit was getting on my nerve. Had they given me my $250, I would have sat through it.
All right. So basically he was saying, hold on, because I was like, let me close that out. So yeah, so basically he was saying that it was a plethora of things that was going on behind the scenes that caused him to get, you know, to quit. But when he was saying $250, I'm like, was he literally talking about $250, or was he talking about that they were supposed to give him, he was supposed to make around $250,000? Because I was confused. I'm like, all this for $250? I'm like, damn, you a cheap lay, I guess is what I'll call it. But there were parts of when he was even having the conversation about what had happened. I was like, okay, Quentin, like, TJF is done. We done moved on. You don't have no ties with Joyce and all of them over there. At this point, you could pretty much just spill what exactly happened. And I feel like with this, I'm glad that they, you know, squashed their beef or whatever the case was publicly, because I feel like there's going to be two times that you're going to have to do this. One, you do it for the public, so the public could shut the hell up and move on, because people still want to have y'all bickering back and forth. And I did love that that trashy K dig that he did. Well, they both did, because he was like, now Tasha K, post this, bitch. Like, that's what he said in that previous video that I showed you, the one where they were at the party. And Claudia said something that I literally said at the same time while I'm talking, because, you know, us people of color, we love talking back to the TV like people can hear us. So I was like, she's not going to post it because it's positive. And, you know, some people out here, y'all love the drama. Y'all love and don't get me wrong, I like grist for the mill. I like drama, all that other stuff too. But when things are positive, we should always point that out too, because I don't feel like that. Like, what good is it to have people going back and forth? And this always happens when it comes to ensemble cast. It happens in girl groups, boy bands, whatever the case is. There's always somebody in the damn background chirping, trying to cause friction between the people for whatever reason. Maybe they're a damn sociopath, and the way they was talking, like Joyce was a horrible freaking showrunner. She was always in the back. They were saying that she would at one point take Claudia's side on stuff, then she would take Funky's side on stuff, and then she would take How You Doing side on stuff. So I could see like Funky and Claudia get back together, but I don't know what's gonna happen between her and Al, because Al just give me very much like, he was like, I'm a man, but girl, you act more like a damn butch queen than you do a man, because you be doing too many things where it's just like, okay, you doing, it's like straight up bitch assness. Like, I don't know him personally, but based off of some of the things that have been transpiring, me putting two and two together and paying attention to what stuff going on, he always seemed to be the factor, not only between Claudia and him, but also when it came down to Armand Wiggins being a part of the show, and he would kind of, you know, say the things that he said, and then when they did the little roast, which of course was the beginning of the end. So when you're talking about stuff was going on, that the day-to-day BS, you could have been more specific, saying that there were just producers that was doing some stuff behind the scenes that was trying to cause a rift between them, because they said that before Funky left, that he was in a good, like they were all in good spirits. They was having fun. There was no drama. They was all getting along. And then all of a sudden, Funky's like, he leaving, because he was like, I guess they were supposed to go on some trip or whatever. And then, excuse me, I believe HR hit him up and was like, you got to renew your contract. Like, he totally forgot about it. And he's like, okay, well, I signed this contract for 6 months. The way y'all was making it seem like y'all were going to re-up my contract and I was going to get more money or whatever the case was after the 6-month period. And then when the 6-month period came, I totally forgot about the contract. It was like, okay, send it to me and send it to my agent. And then basically it was the same damn contract as before. And it's like, oh no, what you're not going to do is piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Because if I'm bringing a certain amount of cachet to this show, and let's be clear, as much as I do like Claudia Jordan, I knew her from, you know, Deal or No Deal and a couple of the little straight to Tubi movies, if you want to call it that. And, you know, the Housewives of Atlanta. And Al, the only thing we knew about him was that he was out here being Star Jones' beard. Funky Dineva was the name that really drew a lot of people over there to the TGIF situation. And then people over there at Tight Ass Foxhole knew that. They knew damn well that Philly Dineva's name, because he was in the YouTube space, that his name alone was going to bring more attention to that show. And he was one of the primary reasons why I went over there and I watched it. I didn't know much about Al You Doing. I didn't even know what the hell his voice sounded like until we watched the show. Because like I said, we only knew him as Star Jones Beard. But now she in a good relationship. No, she got her a good man, Savannah, now. After learning, I guess, what her worth was. And then she didn't have to settle for some old butch queen and that sort of situation. So after all of that, that was one of the reasons what drew me to want to go and check out the show. And then when I checked it out, and it came around the perfect time, because it was during the pandemic, and it was like nothing going on, because a lot of people who were personalities that were trying to jump into the streaming space, a lot of y'all, it just shows that y'all can't do nothing without a producer pretty much having their hand up your ass and using you like a puppet, because a lot of y'all don't really know how to do a show without, all the bells and whistles. Because even Wendy Williams, as much as we love her, couldn't even do a streaming show for some godforsaken reason. Probably because in her head, it was just, I need to be on linear TV, and you don't know how all the other stuff works. But that show worked for what it was. They knew how to navigate and all this, except for The View. Because remember when The View was trying to do a whole live stream type of situation where they had them on a little skew? That was a hot mess too. I guess because you have a lot of these old people that be working behind the scenes that don't know how to work the internet, and you don't have enough young people on the show that would really understand how to do all of that. So that was what it was. But for the most part, I'll just say this: I'm glad they're friendly. I know Dineva said that he wants to work with Claudia again. I feel like after everything that happened before, I don't know if that would be a good idea. Not necessarily because I don't think them two could work together, but I feel like when I've buried the hatchet, time has passed, and I moved on from the stuff, I don't know if I want to go back and work with the same people again, because it's like, yeah, we could find some good producers and all this other stuff. And if you meet some of where he's at on a certain situation, saying that we should all have some input into the show if we decide to develop another show, that all three of us have a say, so we come in collectively with certain things, maybe even with our contracts, because Black people, what you need to do is start trying to be like them white folks over there, in this case, with Friends and stuff, which is like, when them contracts, it's time to re-up, y'all come collectively and try to work things out. But far too long, we get in that crab in the barrel mentality where we only think about ourselves, and once we get to a certain plateau, we don't care about them people over there. As long as my contract is good, I don't care about them other two. And we got to stop having that type of mentality, because white people don't think that way. You see how they got all that money over there when the whole cast of Friends came together and was like, look at how much we're bringing to this show. If you don't give us what we want, we're all gonna war. And they knew they had NBC by the cojones. So I feel like that we need to take on that business sense as well. Not necessarily the other business sense, which would be how y'all be so out here quick to defend people like the Diddler and all the other stuff. Because I don't know if y'all seen that video that Charlamagne put out, but it was absolutely right. When people go around, well, why people do this and this and this? Let's not follow them in that sense. Let's follow them in the business sense. And not necessarily because your own people will do you dirty before the white folks will. And that's the sad part. I mean, white people will do you dirty, trust and believe in business. But Black folks, it seems like they try to play that same game where they want to try to underpay you, undermine you, and string you along like you done. So to wrap all this up, I'm glad that these two, they both worked it out. If they do manage to come together and put together a show, I mean, I'll watch it. But just make sure that whoever y'all third is gonna be, or maybe it would work better if it's just Funky be the sole homosexual on the panel, and it just be two women. Or you could do like a cis woman, a homosexual, and a trans woman. I would say even try to see if you could do T.S. Madison or something on there and see if that works out. But you probably got to pay her some good coin. So yeah, that's all I got on that. So if you guys want to check out that episode of Claudia's show, definitely check it out over on her YouTube channel. I'll when I'm done with the show, I'll actually put it down in the in the description. I'll put a link to it, because I was thinking what I should have did that earlier. But I'll put it down in the description on the regular one. I might have to do it if I cut this up. I might have to put it in that one as well. So just so that way y'all could just check out the episode and listen to and watch the whole thing in full, because it was a good episode where basically they broke down and talked about everything. But I also feel like you know what? Also, when y'all with the cameras off and y'all in private, definitely really sit down, hash it out, and stop letting other people chirp in your ear. Because I think that's what it was too. That how you doing based off of what people were saying. You know, when Armand Wiggins was talking about it, was like, yeah, he would say stuff to Claudia, and then he would go and say stuff to Armand and keep them bickering. I'm thinking that it was the same thing that was going on with Funky and Claudia. And I do feel like sometimes Funky has a tendency of having a poor sense of judgment when it comes to people who can easily manipulate him. Because remember, at one point, he was like, oh, well, Tasha K ain't doing nothing to me, and you was kikiing with her, and so she screwed you over, and then you had all that smoke. So that's why I was like, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And if this woman has an issue with like going after 50 black folks within that whole YouTube space, then you don't think she's gonna do that to you? That's why I'm like, I watch how people move. So I'm glad y'all worked it out. I'm glad that y'all are moving on, and I hope that y'all keep the peace. Because you know, when you get older, you start to learn like, I don't need to be running around here holding animosity, hate, and bigotry, bigotry, I don't like holding on to that energy, which is why I got no lines, no crow's feet. I don't look like I'm about 80 years old. So when you hold on to a lot of that stuff, what it does is age you. You be stressed the hell out, and them other people over there is living their best life while you out here 3 seconds away from having a damn heart attack because you sitting there holding on to all that damn hate. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. If y'all saw the episode, if you saw what it was, whatever you think about this whole story, let me know in the comments down below. Funny. He said Funky went live at the same time as TGIF after he left and constantly taunted them about his much higher views. Claudia will be a fool to forgive and forget. Absolutely. And I feel like you need to get to the root of what was it. No, that would have been a really good conversation to have. Like, if I'm going to have you on the show, like, let's really hash this ish out right here. Why did you decide to go live at 8 o'clock when we went live at 8 o'clock? Just because you wanted to show them that it's like, my ratings, my views, all of that stuff, basically how much I contributed to TGIF, and y'all want to play me, that the numbers over there on my show don't lie. So if that's what you're going to do, like, own up to it and really give the reason as to why you feel the way you feel. That, okay, because he did allude to, oh yeah, well, Claudia did do things to me and I was mad at her and all this other stuff, but why were you upset? Because I can understand you wanting to be like, you know what? Some videos was popping up in my feed about all the clips of like all the good times we had over there at TGIF, and it made me start feeling nostalgic. And I really miss kikiing with her. I don't know how many drinks he had up in his system at that point, but a lot of people be all loose and really say their feelings when they drunk. And when they had a little, and you putting her on the spot, as soon as she walks in, it's like, how else am I supposed to receive that? It's no different than it's like if you trying to put on a whole spectacle just to ask somebody to marry you. Am I supposed to say no? Like, I'm gonna feel bad by doing that. So I'm gonna just go along with the situation. But the fact of the matter was that she reached out to him and was like, well, after all of that, let me see if I can get him to come on the show. I mean, that was a great first step, but y'all really need to get down to the root of the situation as to why, okay, now after everything that transpired and when I quit and I decided to take it out on you, but I decided to still kiki with Al when Al was over there also allegedly being messy and trying to chirp in your ear about stuff with Claudia about you, and then you was doing that to Claudia about Funky, trying to keep like that little separation between y'all by you putting things in people's ear, because according to Armand, that's what he was trying to do to them too. So clearly you had an issue where you get mad because the out and proud homosexuals is out here kikiing with the cis woman, and you over there saying you bisexual, getting mad because they becoming friendly with other people and you don't like that. So you gonna smile up in my face trying to act like you my friend, but then low key you trying to spread rumors and stuff about me behind the scenes and be messy with Joyce and trying to have Joyce up in there starting her, like getting up in there. It's like, bitch, you not even professional. Like, who acts this way and y'all being unprofessional? I told you there'd be a lot of people for some reason in the industry, y'all be acting so damn unprofessional. And you a producer. I've seen it with my own eyes. I told you when I worked at VH1, I would see it. You know, I guess it goes to show people are messy everywhere. So it's like in a fictional TV space, the contract union tactic can get your character written off. But in this space, they aren't characters, so they're better off. Yeah. So it's like they're not actors. But it's just like, look, Funky knew his worth. He knew that it was just like what I brought to the show, what I brought to Fox Soul, what I brought to TGIF, and none of them shows over there survived. Like, and for some reason, I didn't like when they canceled Cocktails with Queens because they was bringing it over there too. But then he was saying that, like, for instance, they paying me $10 an hour to do, like, just an example, because he wasn't really making $10. But he said, for example, I was making like $10 an hour doing 2 days a week over there with TGIF, and then we went to 4 days, and you want to pay me 8. So how you slashing my pay for more work? But you paying me more for less. Like, make that make sense. If I'm coming on 4 days a week and if we push to 5, oh no, you need to bump that pay up to like $17.99, or I said $17.99, like this the price is right. Or, you know, I would say like 20. Like, we doubling it. We ain't doing no damn 8. If you paying me 10, if we doing, you know, more days a week, I want the 20. You talking about Willis? So yeah, all right. Okay, y'all, so let's get into our next topic, and let's talk about Superman, which in a couple of hours, it will be playing in theaters everywhere. Well, you know, they've been giving out, you know, they've been showing sneak peeks, and they had the premiere, they had the fan premiere, I believe, Tuesday. And then I think today is the official day that comes out. All the embargo was lifted, all the you know, the reviews are out right now. And for the most part, they're overwhelmingly positive. So I'm literally looking forward to seeing the movie. I'm actually seeing it tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I got to get up early because I found me a good seat. I was like, I'm going to see it in Dolby. And I'm also going to see it next Thursday because I had to call my parents or whatever and be like, so what's y'all schedule? Because I know my dad wants to go see Superman. My mother is going back and forth with her mother, so I gotta figure out her schedule. So it's like I'm taking them next Thursday, and I found a good some good seats in IMAX, because you know IMAX stays sold out, and I really want to see that movie in IMAX. So I got me a ticket for tomorrow in Dolby, and then I got 3 tickets next week for IMAX. It even made, look, I spent so much damn money, it made me sign up for A-list. And I was like, I had been hesitant to sign up for A-list, but I was watching John Campion's show the other day, and he was talking about like the whole thing about A-list and everything. And I remember hearing it because one of my really good friends, Esteban, does A-list as well. So I'm like, let me sign up. And I never got around to it. But after spending all that money, I was like, oh no, bitch, I'm signing up for A-list because you get a lot of perks with that. I don't know why I'm promoting AMC. I used to work for them and they pissed me off, but I still go to that theater. But anyway, to get into the situation at hand, because I'm starting to go a little off on the side tangent. Let's bring it back. So Superman's coming out. There's still people out here who are hating. You know, you already got the Snotter Bros that are upset because this movie is made. This movie's coming out. Now the reviews are positive. And it's just like, you know what? I don't understand why people have all this energy to just be mad about any little thing. If you don't want to go see a movie, don't go see a movie. And I guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of them damn Snotter Bros up in there who are going to hate watch this damn movie because they want to see what it's giving. But another hater, speaking of which, who's jumping on the situation is a former Superman by the name of Dean Cain, who's been washed up since they canceled Lois and Clark back in the 90s. When did they cancel that damn 97? That's what that last time it aired on ABC. So it lasted 4 damn seasons. 4 too many if you ask me. But I did the good thing we got out of it was Terry Hatcher, because she went off and did Desperate Housewives, which was my show, by the way. So Dean Cain decided to jump on the line, and now he wants to call Superman woke, or he's worrying about Superman being woke. And this is why I hate a lot of y'all. Well, I can't say hate. Hate is a strong word. This is why I despise some of y'all. Like, especially when it comes to stupid people, I have a low tolerance for idiots. And he's literally an idiot, because I'm like, why is it anything that showcases diversity or something different than being a white heterosexual male? Which, let's be clear, Dean Cain is not full-fledged white. I ain't gonna say heterosexual. I don't know, but I guess, you know, he is. That's how he identifies. But what I meant to say, if we're gonna talk about ethnicity, Dean Cain is part Asian. So if you want to sit up in here and try to act like, yo, you ain't got no immigrant situation going up in your situation, you could try to deny it because you're passing and you're white. And this is the thing that irritates me about people like him. And that Alyssa Farah Griffin over there at The View, where she was over there with her anti-Muslim rhetoric when she's Syrian. And when you look at a Dean Cain who's part Asian and sitting up in here talking about woke this and woke that, because James Gunn said that Superman is an immigrant, which for some reason, I don't know how it doesn't compute, but for a IP that has existed for almost 90 years, I believe 87 years is when we've had Superman, when it was invented back in the 30s. I don't understand how it's like it doesn't compute that, yes, Superman is an immigrant. You have someone who came from Krypton, was a baby, crash landed on planet Earth, Kansas to be specific, and you don't think that's an undocumented immigrant? Like, I don't think when he crash landed on Earth and Ma and Pa Kent found him that they had his papers all up in that space, little baby spaceship as well. There was no birth certificate. There was no social security card. However, the numbers are that they have with that. So I don't know why this is like hard for them to compute. I guess maybe you was looking at, you know, the red, white, and blue shiny outfit, and then the crazy special effects. Like y'all don't be paying attention to the allegories that come into a lot of this stuff. I feel like y'all just be complaining and bitching because it's gonna get you attention. And y'all know, I think a lot of y'all know better. But y'all just choose to wallow in your ignorance because it's going to get you, it gets those endorphins going, it gets you attention on social media, and then we're here talking about it. So apparently, Dean Cain told TMZ via Entertainment Weekly that he's wary about Hollywood making The Man of Steel woke and James Gunn's upcoming Superman, where David Corenswet takes on the title role. The movie has faced conservative backlash ever since Gunn told the Times of London that Superman is an immigrant and the story of America, saying, quote, "How woke is Hollywood going to make this character? You mean the very Hollywood that you used to cuck to until them roles dried up and then you wound up doing, I guess, those faith-based movies and shows, whatever, because that's the only place where you can get a job?" So it says, how much is Disney going to change their Snow White? Well, that movie already came out, so I don't think it matters here nor there. Why are they going to change these characters to exist for the times? For Superman, it was true justice in the American way. Well, they dropped that. They came up with true justice and a better tomorrow. Changing beloved characters, I don't think is a great idea. If you want to create a new character, go ahead and do that. Well, thank God you're not a writer and you're just there to be a blank canvas and do whatever the directors tell you to do, because clearly you lack something called an imagination or an actual brain. This is the same person that played a homosexual in a movie called The Broken Hearts Club. And you want to sit up here and try to talk about woke this or woke that, but you didn't have no problem playing woke characters back in the day when people actually gave a shit about your ass and you was the hot commodity in Hollywood. He said that Superman has always stood for true justice in the American way, and the American way is immigrant-friendly, tremendously immigrant-friendly. But there are rules. You can't come in saying, I want to get rid of all the rules in America because I want it to be more like Somalia. Well, that doesn't work because you have to leave Somalia to come here. There have to be limits because we can't have everybody in the United States. We can't have everybody. Society will fail. So there has to be limits. Well, who are you to determine who gets to come here, who doesn't get to come here? Just like if you decide to get up on a plane and take your ass over to another country and they decide to kick you out, then what? And why all of a sudden, out of all the places, you decide to drag Somalia into the conversation? What does Somalia do to you? So now you're making it about, now it feels like there's some underlining racism to what you're saying. And somehow there's rules. But were there rules when, it's funny, why am I even trying to articulate this stupidity? But since we're here, let's play along. First of all, Superman's not even real. What are we doing in this country? Like, I just don't understand. Like, Superman's not a real person. It is based off a comic book. For over 8 decades, the allegory has always been about immigrants. He is an immigrant. It's about immigration. How does he fit into a society that doesn't really accept him? And I like the idea. Well, I can't even really speak on the movie because I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know what the overall tone is. I don't know what the overall excuse me, what it is that we already understand the immigration allegory because that's always going to be the foundation of Superman. But I can't really speak on what James Gunn is trying to say about his Superman until I see the movie tomorrow. Then I can go further in on it. But I also feel like Dean ain't see this damn movie either. So what the hell is he talking about? So now they said when Gunn said that Superman is an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country, MAGA supporters and conservative pundits were quick to react by saying they would skip the movie. Okay, well, I'm sure that Warner Brothers, the DCU, and James Gunn could give two shits and a flying fuck whether or not y'all go see this damn movie. Keep your ass home. Fox News branded the film super woke as network host Jesse Waters, yeah, that freaking pervert, wisecrack, you know what it says on his cape, MS-13. And I'm sure it probably took about him and a couple of writers to come up with that funny joke. See what idiots over there. And he also says we don't come to the movie theater to be lectured to and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us. And that's what the crypt keeper herself, Kellyanne Conway, added about the movie. Well, then you can keep your little 20-pound ass home, crypt keeper. We don't want your ugly 20-pound ass up in the movie theater either. So then Cain also told TMZ, I think bringing Superman into it, I think that was just a mistake by James Gunn to say it's an immigrant thing, and I think it's going to hurt the numbers on the movie. I was excited for the film. I'm excited to see what it is. I'm rooting for it to be a success. No, you're not, because if you were, then why would you go in and say all the stuff that you're saying? But he said, but I don't like that last political comment. And I also feel like Dean Cain, you haven't had a career since they canceled Lois and Clark back in 97. So I don't think that James Gunn, who has had a tumultuous career making a lot of successful movies, all of them wasn't successful, but for the most part, his Guardians of the Galaxy films alone eats up your entire career. So I don't think he gives a good goddamn what your opinion is on a movie you had nothing to do with, especially since you're not even on a damn D list. Like, what goes lower than D? Z? So we don't care what you think. Although this, for the grist of the mill, the conversation, we definitely have to bring it up because this is what people are talking about on social media. And so he's running a whole, universe. I was going to say network, but with the DCU, he's running a whole ship over there with not only this film, but different movies as well. And for the most part, let me Google it. How much, let's see, because you're talking about, the movie's not going to do well. Now, how long has Superman been around? How much is Superman going to make? At the box office. Because the estimation, they're saying that it eyes about $130 million domestically. So if it's going to bring in $130, it says, the comic book adventure is aiming for a 120 to 130 million domestic in its opening weekend. However, Warner Brothers and independent tracking services are divided on where the initial ticket sales will land. The studio is offering a more conservative estimate of 100 million to 110, while others are projecting that strong reviews will propel the debut above 140. And then it says that it's going to bring in 100 million at the international box office, but that could also be a cautious estimate. So we'll say between 110, 120 million dollars. We'll find out over the weekend when Monday comes and I do another show, what the actual numbers were. But the movie's going to be a success. I do feel like there's the hardcore Superman fans that love Superman are going to go see this film. It's got its own it's got a different tone. So I don't like the idea of people actually comparing it to Man of Steel. Man of Steel's tone was completely different than the tone we're getting from this. This seems more bright, effervescent, and hopeful, whereas Zack Snyder's Superman had more of a dark type of tone to it. So the tones are different. The way that David Corenswet, I'm sure, is playing Superman is completely different than the way that Henry Cavill plays Superman. And I remember him saying, and it's probably why Dean came mad, because David didn't call him up to ask him any Superman advice. Because David did say that he called up David Corson. He didn't call up himself. He called up previous Supermans to ask them their advice, and he said that they weren't going to give him. He said that, I think he called oh my God, what's his name? Tyler Hecklin. I think that did the Superman and Lois show, which don't throw tomatoes at me. I still haven't gotten around to watching that show yet, and I know all the episodes is up on HBO Max, so I definitely need to get around and watch it. I am going to get around and watching it, but it's too many damn things that is occupying my time at the moment. So one of these days I'm gonna get to it. So I think he said he had called him up, and then I believe he said he called up. I'm surprised he didn't call. I mean, he said he called up Henry Cavill. I'm surprised he didn't call up the one that did Superman Returns, Brandon Routh. But yeah, he said that he called them up to ask them their advice, and they was like, "No, you just need to play Superman your own way," because everybody has their own way of coming to it. I know some people was getting pissed because it was like when some people say, "Oh, this is the best Superman I've ever seen," and people were getting, "But what about Christopher Reeve? And what about this and that?" And I said, you know what? People saying that, I don't get offended because we all have our different vibes and reasons for why we like what we like. And maybe these people that see this have never seen the Christopher Reeve originals. They didn't grow up with that Superman, so I don't think people need to be mad at them. Like for me, my Superman is Tom Welling. I grew up on Smallville, and that's my era. So I'm aware of Christopher Reeve. I saw the films because my dad showed them to me. But for the most part, that's not my Superman, because that's not the Superman that I'm aware of. Because I don't even think I was born when the original Superman came. When did Superman come out? Like 77? Yeah, I wasn't born yet. So, my Superman, like I said, my Superman is Tom Welling in Smallville. Them 10 damn long seasons of him being a damn blur. But and Michael Rosenbaum was my Lex Luthor. And when I see this, I'm gonna probably enjoy it for what it is. And I don't know why people can't just let people just enjoy what they like, because and I feel like this movie is geared towards a new generation who didn't grow up with the Tom Welling Superman, who are vaguely aware of the Henry Cavill Superman, but that's not maybe their Superman. And this is going to be introducing Superman to a new generation. So let people like what they like. And if people feel like, woke this and woke that, I'm tired of y'all using woke as a weapon, because you've taken a word that was created, of course, per usual, by Black people, and you decided to weaponize it. Woke means to basically be aware of the atrocities that's going around. So when there were situations that was going on in the South, it was like, be vigilant to Black people, that you need to be vigilant. You need to be aware of what's going on because of white supremacy, whatever the case is. That is what woke is. It has nothing to do with anytime you want to show any type of diversity, anytime you want to put a woman or a gay person or a trans person, or you want to talk about immigration or anything, because that's basically you turn the word woke into a racist dog whistle. That is what y'all do. And I'd be damned if I'm going to let y'all sit up here and yet again hijack another word created by Black people and turn it into something that it's not. So, as I said before, I'm going to go see this movie tomorrow. I'm going to do my review on it on the Monday show, because I want to give everybody an opportunity, because I can't do those. Oh, I can't give a spoiler, whatever the case is. I'm going to let y'all see it, Friday, Saturday. I'm going to let Sunday happen. And then when we come back on Monday show, I'll give my full assessment of the movie. I'll put up the whole spoiler review, alert, whatever you want to call it. So that way, if y'all don't want to hear certain things, you'll be aware. But for the most part, I'm definitely going to talk the hell about this damn movie, because while Batman has always been one of my favorite DCU characters, I have a soft spot for Superman. And David Cornspan is cute. Also, I know he was on The View. The cast was on The View today, so I gotta watch that later on. So I know that was a whole lot, but when it comes down to it, I gotta read the idiots down to the damn floor. So if people, if y'all don't want to go see the movie, don't go see the movie. Just stay mad. I'll go argue with your mammy. So I go and say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Dean Cain out here being a damn airhead? He's kind of, if you think about it, his character in the Broken Hearts Club was kind of an airhead. So maybe he wasn't really acting when he was playing that ding-ding homosexual in that damn movie. So I never want to hear, and Billy Porter was in that movie too. That's where I first became aware of him. But and then when he had the scene where he hunched Andrew Keegan. Ooh, where he been? Where's he at? Anyway, let me come back. So I never want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. Let's see what the people talking about. He said, I am so sick of people saying, well, you and me both. Because as I said, y'all need to stop using that damn word and weaponizing it. It makes me wonder if Dean is a Trumper. I mean, he might be. I would not be surprised because based on some of the stuff he's saying, it does give Trumper tease. Okay. So you seen it on Sunday. It has been getting good reviews. I mean, I was going to see it regardless, but not the F list. Too Woke says the irrelevant nobody trying to get some attention. Exactly. And that's why I was like, you only jump on this. You know, I was like, hello, everybody. Chris, people are already playing it. I hope so. Because like I said, I'm going to see it tomorrow. And then I got tickets for IMAX next Thursday. And what is wrong with just like, if you liked the Henry Cavill one, then that's okay. I have said many a times on this show that I liked Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was a really good movie. But the problem was with that universe, and I will say this to the cows go on, I don't care who likes it. I feel like the people that was running things over there, like Walter Hamada and all, and all of them, y'all dropped the ball. Because there should have been there was Man of Steel, should have been a Man of Steel 2. There should have been a solo Batman movie. You should have had a solo Wonder Woman movie. You should have had a solo Flash movie. You should have built your empire piece by piece. But no, they decided they wanted to go from Superman. Then we're going to do Batman v Superman. We're going to put Wonder Woman up in there. We're going to put Batman up in there. We're going to put the Flash. We're going to put Cyborg. I almost called him Cyclops. We're going to put them all up in there. They have the little cameos. And then we're going to jump right to Justice. I'm like, what? How you jumping to Justice League this early? And it's because I feel like y'all was trying to play catch up with the MCU. But they took a while to build their foundation before we got to the Avengers. At least, and then they threw some people up in there. You know, we had a Hawkeye and we had Black Widow, who started out in Iron Man 2, but still, you know, they were dropped. You know, we had characters that popped up in different places before they assembled into the Avengers. They didn't do that with the DCEU. So y'all were trying to rush to play catch up to compete with the MCU when y'all should have been over there doing y'all own thing. That's why I like the fact that, you know, as much as people get mad at James Gunn, he's taking his time, growing that universe over there. And I know people get mad at him for talking too much and all this other stuff. But then again, you know what? Y'all can't. That's why I always tell people: be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Or was it the Pussycat Dolls that said? So y'all wanted somebody that was deeply passionate about the comics, that can get into the whole DC whole situation, and somebody who works behind the scenes that really cares. James Gunn is that guy because he's an artist. Then you have Peter Safran, who's the business guy. So now you see James Gunn is out here talking about, you know, the movie and talking about everything that's coming. And yeah, there's times where he could be a little bit, what is it? Like, he comes up talking out of both sides of his mouth when it comes to things regarding, you know, the stuff he said about Matt Reeves and that Batman and all this other stuff. But y'all wanted a face. Y'all said y'all wanted somebody who could be the Kevin Feige of the DCU. Apparently, that is who James Gunn is. So, yeah, when he's out here just talking and doing whatever, maybe he needs to fall back a little bit and just let other people come in and say what needs to be said, and not really just be so defensive and some of the stuff he said. Maybe he needs to work on how he can get the word out and stuff. But at the same time, it's like y'all wanted somebody who's deeply passionate and cares about that universe. So let them do what they got to do. Let them cook. Let them figure out what goes on and what's going to work. And he also just recently said that a lot of the tones are going to be different for a lot of the different films. So, and I like that. That I don't want it to be like, well, it's got to be this set tone like with the MCU, or we could do different versions and we could sprinkle different things. Like when you have Black Panther, or this tonally is different from what is it, Captain America Winter Soldier, which felt more like an espionage thriller disguised as a superhero movie. So if you're going to take those type of plots and put them in there, that's cool. But if you're also going to do something with the DC, if you're going to be like, each movie is not going to kind of have the same type of tone so y'all know what y'all getting when y'all go in, I want to be surprised. I want to go on these different journeys, and I want to give these people a chance to do what they're doing. So and I've been saying from the beginning, just let the man do what he got to do. I trust in him 9 times out of 10. James Gunn has released good films. He has written a lot of great scripts. I'm a fan of a lot of his movies, even before Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Slither is like one of my favorite, I guess we can call like sci-fi horror movies. I love that. I love his script for Dawn of the Dead, the remake. Zack Snyder directed, which is why I always say Zack Snyder just needs to direct scripts that were written for him rather than him try to write something. And because he is not a good writer, he's not a good storyteller in that way. He's a good visual storyteller, and follow the script in that way, that works. When you try to write your own thing, you get Rebel Moon. So you said the special effects look like the real star. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like on Dolby. I mean, in an IMAX next week. I'm really looking forward to see it on that big screen, like how the visuals pop, which I've heard that it does. And Dolby, at least I get the surround sound and stuff, so I'm excited for that. You said yes, for many kids, it's their first Superman in theaters. Absolutely. So that's what I'm thinking about, and I think that's what James Gunn was thinking about too. Hence why he put Crypto up in there. Everybody likes a dog. I mean, unless you a dog beater, which I heard they had to remove a scene where Crypto gets punched. People got mad over that. And I'm like, it's a super dog. You know, he got superpower. He could take a punch. But then again, just any kind of abuse of a dog, people don't like it. Why you think that John Wick is what it is? Like the minute they killed John Wick dog, we was with him on that ride. Like, go ahead and take them all out. I don't like when people abuse dogs. He said, didn't Dean Cain? Yes, he did. He probably liked it too damn much. And now he's, he snapped. When nobody put a gun to your head and tell you play a homosexual on the screen, he said Dean Cain was the least charismatic Superman anyway. It's so obvious how he never understood or cared about the character. Exactly. I don't even remember. Quite as kept. I do remember watching Lois and Clark back in the day. I don't remember the show, but I do remember him being on it. So that's to say how memorable that is. Like I will literally watch Smallville again, all 10 seasons. Even though Chloe turned out to be problematic and a damn groomer, the girl that played her, remember her? Out here in a whole sex cult. So I would rather watch Smallville all 10 seasons before I watch that foolishness. Okay, that's probably exactly what it was. Homosexual panic. It's all about the villain for me. Oh, you talking about Nicholas Hoult? Gay Superman memes. Well, I'm sure they will be putting them out there, but I'm hoping. I really am what people need to ask, because I'm tired of Superman at this point. I just feel like all the hype and stuff, like everywhere I go, especially on YouTube, it's probably because I've been watching I've been going down the Superman rabbit hole. So you're getting bombarded with stuff. Everybody got a damn review of this movie. I just want to know and somebody, maybe I need to tweet James Gunn. What's going on with the Authority? That's what I need to ask him. I remember being so excited for Cyborg and Green Lantern, but I also don't know how that would have happened in 2020 with the pandemic. Yes, the actor that played Cyborg, I thought he was good in that role, and unfortunately, I think didn't he come out and complain against Joss Whedon? I'm also looking forward to that Lanterns TV show when that comes out. You said the solo films. Mm-hmm. I like Man of Steel, but mostly because it was my first time seeing. You're so stupid. It's like, yeah, Henry Cavill out here making them pecs bounce. And then don't even remind me of that movie that was Black Adam. Although my crazy behind how I went and bought it. Okay, so now let's move on to some I Know What You Did Last Summer tea. Because Freddie Prinze Jr. has been, him and the cast. I really haven't seen Jennifer Love Hewitt running around doing promo for I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I haven't seen the new cast, and I've seen Freddie has been doing promos with the director, Jennifer Caden Robinson. Well, I didn't realize how hot she was until I seen her recently. I'm like, ooh, who's that pretty girl? And then she was up there with him promoting, the movie and everything. So he recently did an interview, and For those of you who are not aware, but y'all probably are right about now, especially if you grew up with I Know What You Did Last Summer. I had no idea he was 49 years old, but they said he's reprising his role as Ray Brunson in I Know What You Did Last Summer. And, you know, Jennifer Love Hewitt, who is 46, is back as Julie James, now a trauma professor, which I think is a good role for her, because we all knew based off of that shot when she turns around, and I was like, okay, we could clearly see that's a college campus. And sidebar, I had heard a story that they were saying on something or another that I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was supposed to take place on, or it should have taken place on the campus when, you know, because Julie was in college. I don't think Ray was in college. I think Ray was still like being a fisherman or whatever the case was. And Julie was in college because remember at the end of the first one, she was in college. So she was in college and her roommate was Carla Wilson, played by Brandy, who people are believing that she is in the movie. But I think it's a bona fide cameo because to be honest, where would Carla fit in this whole world of what's going on? So I think Julie probably isn't still in the town, but she just, you know, works at a university. So it makes sense that she would work at a college. But some people say that she should have just they should have just made the movie take place at a college. But I'm like, no, I mean, yeah, that makes sense, but I don't think that would have worked because Scream 2 took place on a college campus. So people would have called that, even though both scripts, the first scripts, were written by Kevin Williamson, people would have looked at I Know What You Did Last Summer as a blatant ripoff of Scream. Even though, like I said, Kevin Williamson was behind the first, you know, both movies, the first ones. And, you know, I don't need to go on the whole Scream thing with Kevin Williamson, but y'all know he just did both movies. So it would have made sense, but no, it would just, especially with them coming out around the same time, it would have felt like, oh, like I said, a blatant copy. So, he said, whatever a high school union feels like, that's what it felt like. This is what he told people about reuniting with Hewitt in the decades-old roles. He says, you have no idea what's changed, what's the same. You're excited to show what you think you're better at. You know what I mean? You hope they notice it. It was all those things. Because it's like, yeah, when y'all acted on, and you know, opposite each other 20 years ago, you want to show like, okay, well, I've matured as an actor. That I'm not the same person I was back in the day. And I could definitely understand like how that reunion was probably full of emotion, especially not only just because they hadn't seen each other in such a long time, but also coming back to playing those characters and the fact that they were their characters were in a relationship 20 some odd years ago, and where their relationship has been since I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, what's Ray been up to? It was like he works at a bar. Julie's moved on. She's a professor. And that sort of thing. So to see that, and then of course that'll be catnip for us fans, you know, us OG fans who grew up with I Know What You Did Last Summer, seeing them back on the screen again and see how they fit in that whole world. So it does make sense to, like, as if you're doing I guess we could call it a requel, how these two would measure up. I was like, let me adjust because my camera keeps moving and it is annoying the hell out of me. Okay, we're good. So he said, because of a tight filming schedule, there just had to be trust that each of us cared enough to put the work in. I don't have any reason not to trust her. I know how much this character means to her. She puts everything into this girl and always has since the first movie. Because yeah, there was a tight schedule. Because remember at one point, Freddie was he had went over to Australia with the cast to work on the film. And I think at the time while they were filming the movie, Jennifer Love Hewitt hadn't worked out her contract and everything with, you know, the people that were working on the film. So then I think when they came, I don't know if she went over to Australia, but I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, they brought the film back to the US to finish up. And I think that's where she comes in to do her scenes and all this other stuff. So that's probably where he had to, you know, they had to come in and do their scenes and stuff together. So now they said Prinze thinks his work with Hewitt in this new sequel is their best yet together. Saying, quote, I know when we got together, they're the best scenes that we've put on camera together in any of the three movies. He said in an aside, I know there was another one in there, but I never saw that one. Oh yeah, you talking about that I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, which I have no idea. I've never seen the movie, nor I plan on seeing the movie. So He said, I don't know her when it came to that film. Now he reiterates, he says, I'm really proud of the work that Love and I got to do on screen. I think it's the best work we've done in all three of the movies that we did together, and I don't think it's close. Hewitt previously told People that seeing Prinze again on set felt like a high school reunion, and shared, she said, quote, it felt like the moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I have butterflies in my stomach and my heart is beating really fast because I have not seen this person in 150 years and now we're back. Here we are. We just had to jump right back into Julie and Ray, but we did it. But when we did it, it felt like we had never left, honestly. And you know what? I think that's how, if that's what they're saying, that that's what it felt like that they brought to the roles, then I feel like that's going to be a lot of how we feel too. Like I have a feeling like when I go and see this movie, that when it comes down to Julie and Ray, that they're going to, like when I see them on the screen, it's literally going to feel like when these two encounter each other, it's going to be butterflies in the stomach. It's going to be, I'm definitely going to be my heart going to be palpitating. It's going to be, it's going to have this whole feeling like, oh my God, I haven't seen these two on TV in a long time. I'm just hoping that what y'all don't do, is kill them off, because I will be annoyed if y'all do that. If y'all actually go in and, well, I'm hoping that both of their parts is not bona fide cameos. Like, I can understand, I know people probably gonna get mad for me saying this, but I know, like, I just hope, when it comes down to Brandy, allegedly, if she is in the movie, that it would feel very boring. A cameo makes sense to have her in, the movie. But because to me, she feels more like a city girl than somebody that would live in a small town where it's like 90% white folks and 10% black folks. Like, I don't see her living in Southport. I really don't. Or she would have moved away from Southport when she got old enough. Like, I just definitely could see, like, it's going to be a phone call sequence or a FaceTime between her and Julie. Like, that's what they're seeing if she's in the movie. I'm just speaking hyperbolic. It's like, if she's in the movie, how that will go. So I'm looking forward to seeing these two back on the screen again. I'm a little worried because the movie, I think it's getting, I don't know if it's getting, I don't know what the reviews are on it yet, because no embargo has been lifted. I know some people are getting to go see it next week. I guess that's when the screenings and stuff is going to begin. I wish I was getting a damn screening to go see. Yeah, I'm putting out in the universe. Like, start inviting me to movie screening studios. Because, as somebody who went to film school, who loves movies, who's a film connoisseur, I definitely would like to get those invites. But if I don't, that's fine. I don't have no problems. Like I told you, I'm an A-lister over at AMC. So I can go and get my ticket, go see this movie, and I'll give you all an overall review of how the film is. But I'm just worried because with all the competition and stuff that's coming out right now, how well will the movie do? Because, it's smack dab in between. They got the Smurfs coming out at the same time. Next Friday, they got the Smurfs coming out, but the Smurfs, I don't know any of these younger generation kids that will want to watch something that is from my generation. Like, I grew up with the Smurfs. I don't think anybody cares about the Smurfs. These little kids, that look like that's giving me LEOTs. Like, that's something that should have just been released straight to streaming or whatever the case is. Like, I don't know if parents are overwhelmed right now with movie tickets and stuff. It's too much things that's pulling for them with Jurassic World and so many other movies that came out for them, like How to Train Your Dragon and all that stuff. Who got time to be like, damn, I just got finished paying bills. Now I got to come up with $100 plus the more for snacks and all this other stuff so we can go see some damn Smurfs. So I don't know if the Smurfs going to do all that well. But since we could throw that to the side, we have Superman this weekend, and next week, of course, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then a week after that, we have Fantastic Four, which I'm still on the fence about. I kind of want to see it, but I've been let down so many times by Fantastic Four. I don't know if I want to jump and go see it in the movies. I probably will go see it, but for the most part, I'm not really that jazzed to see Fantastic Four. I need to hear some reviews on it before I even consider getting a ticket. But right now, I'm still on the fence. But yeah, I'm just worried because it's like, I understand. I know what you did last summer. It should be dropped in the summer, unlike, when y'all drop other horror movies in the damn summertime, like Megan 2.0. That wasn't really horror. It should have been, but it wasn't. That didn't make no sense to drop that in the summer. This makes sense to drop it in the summer because of the title and where it takes place. But I do worry because of where it's smack dab in between. July is really busy. and it's demanding a lot of people's time. It's demanding a lot of people's money. So, with that being said, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. I'm glad that Freddie said what he said, and like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting to know this new cast, even though a lot of them probably gonna get killed off. But I'm also looking forward to seeing my legacy cast on the screen, one more time. So I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding what Freddie Prinze Jr. had to say about I Know What You Did Last Summer and him reuniting with Jennifer Love Hewitt? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, so hold on, because you said Madeline Klein looks so beautiful on Allure magazine. She's the only reason I want to watch this. As I said, a lot of say what now? I would definitely check out the original. What I will say is this, because I forgot what streaming service it's on right now. It might be on. I can't remember. It might be on Paramount Plus, or it might be on Prime Video or whatever, because I did see it up there the other day. They got the first one, but not I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, which doesn't make sense. You should have put both of them up. Or it might be on HBO Max. I gotta check my streaming service because I belong to so many I can't keep track. But the first one is good. It's a slow burn though, because it feels more like a mystery before we get to the kills. So it doesn't move fast enough. Although I do probably feel like this new one is probably going to, because of the new generation, they kind of hybrid it, which is like we could build up the stuff, but we also got to keep those kills coming in, because it seems like y'all want the sequel vibe in an original movie, which is we can kill people off, but you got to get to the killing right away. You can't just like build up to the kills. And I've been noticing that in a lot of the horror films. People want it right out the gate. And you said they've been showing the first movie a lot. Yeah, because I guess what it is they want to get people ready for this new one. It's kind of like, what was the other movie? Which I don't understand why y'all waited so late to drop the 28 Days and 28 Years Later on the streaming service. They all should have had those going around for a while. But they waited literally like weeks before 28 Years Later came out to put 28 Days and 28 Weeks on the streaming service, which was crazy to me. They all should have released that early. It feels like they had a great time filming this movie. I'm glad it usually translates in the final product. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it too. Although I need to stop dropping little stuff because I don't want to get spoiled. Well, I mean, we know a lot of them probably die, or if not all of them, but I don't want to see how they die. Like, unless y'all doing deep fakes, kind of like what they did with Final Destination Bloodlines, which I actually like how they did that, because I was going into the movies thinking like, oh yeah, I know how this one gonna die. And then I watched the movie, I'm like, okay, so that's not the way they die. So I like that. Where y'all had like certain scenes where y'all was showing like the deep fakes versus actually showing the kills. So kind of like with one of the scenes, we thought, okay, the boy was gonna get killed in the tattoo shop. It's not how he went. The boy's gonna get hit by a car, the same one for the tattoo shop. We're like, oh, so I guess that's how you go down. No, that's not how he dies. He dies another way. So I love the Smurfs when the first live action films were coming out, and Katy Perry was voicing Smurfette. Well, yeah. And now I think, don't they have Rihanna playing Smurfette now? So it's changed. They went from one pop star to another. I always thought Jennifer Love Hewitt was more beautiful than. Well, yeah, I always liked Jennifer Love Hewitt too. I mean, it was the boobs. That's probably what it was. Sarah Michelle Gellar, in so many ways, I guess, had the bigger career because, she was always in everything. And then Buffy the Vampire Slayer, to be honest, as a TV series, was way more successful. Versus Jennifer Love Hewitt, who was on Party of Five with Neve Campbell. That show was on, but it really wasn't like this breakout show. Because I really wasn't watching Party of Five like that. I mean, I knew them from that show, but I didn't watch it. I was like, my damn camera I might have to like do a little tightening because she keep moving. Okay. All right, y'all. Now that we got the movie news and stuff out of the way, child, let's get into this mess. So, Koonye is in the news This time for, remember Lauren Preciata? I think that's how you say it, Preciata? Preciato. Preciata, I think that's how you say her name. So she filed a sexual harassment and wrongful termination suit against Koonye back in 2024. When now it looked like she decided to refile, and she's going against him again, saying that he was trafficking her and a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's get into the tea. So Prashanta originally filed the suit and wrongful termination. So, harassment, wrongful termination. And as I said, in 2024, it says in her amended complaint filed earlier this week and obtained by Us Weekly, Preciata is also accusing West of fostering a hostile work environment, SA, and battery, as trafficking, stalking, false imprisonment, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Saying, quote, instead of advancing Ms. Prasada's career in the music industry, Ye destroyed it. Ye subjected Ms. Prasada to obscene comments about her body. I mean, she got some big old jugs, but you shouldn't be talking about it, though. You can look, but you can't be talking about it or touching. They said she demanded she wear tight-fitting clothing, groped her on a regular basis, forced her to watch Ye perform sexual acts with other women, sent her explicit pictures and demanded she do the same, and repeatedly demanded that she join his encounters, which she refused. The court documents read. On one occasion, Koonye, I'm changing it because I ain't calling no damn Ye. Koonye attempted to vaginally penetrate Miss Preciata with his fingers. On another occasion, he orally R-worded her without her consent. Both assaults occurred during the course of Miss Preciata's employment. Can you imagine putting that old nasty mouth of his? Because that look like he don't be brushing his teeth properly. Like, can you imagine putting his mouth on your cooter? I was like, I ain't gonna let you near my coochie. I would say, well, Kim let anybody near that coochie. But anyway, so they said Prasada also claimed that West terrorized and dominated her for approximately 2 years under the alleged pretense of offering serious career advancement opportunities. In her filing, Prasada alleged that West abruptly terminated her employment after multiple failed attempts at coercing her to engage in sexual acts. I'm really trying to edit myself with these words. The YouTube and the algorithm. So even after terminating Ms. Prasada, Ye continued to subjugate and intimidate her through assault, battery, stalking, and harassment. After he terminated Ms. Prasada, Koonye moved into a unit in her apartment complex, placing her in fear for her safety. On one occasion, Koonye forcibly grabbed Ms. Prasada by the throat. When Ms. Prasada eventually relocated to Florida to escape him, Koonye hired a third party to harass Ms. Prasada by falsely reporting non-existent emergencies and incidents, as well as requesting bogus services and deliveries to her residence. Kanye West has not addressed Prasada's recent allegations. He previously denied her initial claims. They said, quote, in response to these baseless allegations, Kanye will be filing a lawsuit against Ms. Prasada, West's attorney said in a statement last year. Prior to her termination as an assistant, Ms. Prasada sold his cell phone in an attempt to destroy phone records that would contradict her claims, all of which have been preserved. Well, if you're saying that this stuff has been preserved, then at this point, if you feel like you have a case to go up against, to counter what she's saying, you're saying that she's out here trying to smear you and make you out to be an abuser and this, that, and the other, then let the courts handle it. Let your attorneys do what they need to do. However, it's hard to not believe her allegations based off of Koonye's behavior and how he acts at times. So, I feel like in so many ways, I'm not really all that surprised in regards of what she's saying, because I wouldn't put nothing past him and how he comes across. So this is yet another lawsuit for the same girl. We'll see how far it goes in the courts. And I will definitely keep you abreast of this story as it develops. So in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story in regards to Kanye West? Do you believe these allegations? I guess at this point, it doesn't matter if we believe it or not. We should automatically believe victims when they say certain things. And I don't think a lot of people would just take it upon themselves to file a whole bunch of lawsuits and spend money on something if it's for attention, it's for clout, and it's, just to ruin someone's career. If people are out here using their power to suppress and to prevent people from having a career, which we've seen many a times and openly admitted by the diddler of the things that he was doing in regards to trying to have control over people's careers and being a sociopath and all that other stuff, that I'm putting none past somebody of the likes of Koonye, because he is in the same position, well, was at the time, the same position of power that a diddler, Diddy has been in, or what, well, I should say was in, has been, same shit. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of this story, but in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all, so let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So now, speaking of Koonye, let's talk about his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, who was out in these streets trying to work a runway over at Paris Fashion Week, was out here looking like Boo the Fool. Well, based off of, when I saw this article, I was like, let me go on the social media and try to look up her walk. Because I was like, me telling y'all and trying to describe it is not going to do it. Well, first of all, the way she was walking was like, won't you come over and see me sometime? Oh, like she was giving very much Mae West with the walk, or whatever the case was. And it's like, ma'am, are you drunk? But the overall look, it was giving very much Elizabeth Taylor. I guess it would make sense because of the white slip and the jewelry and all other stuff. This girl want to be Elizabeth Taylor so damn bad, because she's emulated her in the past before, wearing her clothes, her Marilyn Monroe, burst them outfits at the seam because she had that ginormous ass, Brazilian butt lift. I was going to say a Brazilian BBL, which that is basically what a BBL. So yeah, hold on, y'all, while I pull up this video in case y'all have not seen it. No, that's not where it is. Sometimes I be forgetting how to bring the stuff up. All right, so we have the clip. We're going to come back and we're going to talk. Please hold. Wait, hold on. Let me mute it, because I don't know, when it comes down to the music, I don't want to get demonetized. Yeah, so look how she walking. Like, ma'am, are you okay? Let's watch it. I'm going to keep it on the loop. So, yeah. Now, they said while her sister Kendall is an expert at working the runway, Kim's performance left viewers falling over themselves with laughter, saying to Kendall, can you help your sister? As another one said, go, Kim, give us nothing. So I don't understand why she up in here trying to walk like that, when it's like, sis, that is not how the girls be walking on the runway unless you were instructed to walk that way on the runway. But yeah, you out here looking a hot ass. I mean, you're a pretty girl. We already know that. But there, I did not want to close that. It's like, we already know that you're a pretty girl and all that other stuff. But the walk, no. You're literally walking like you just got finished getting pounded by the world's biggest dick, and you just trying to get your bearings. Like, that's what it was giving. So one person wrote, this is how I walk after having 2 margaritas and I'm trying to be inconspicuous when I'm actually intoxicated. 1 margarita, I'm going on head. 2 margaritas, I'm going to give me some head. 3 margaritas, I'm going to take it in the bud. 4 margaritas, I'm going to take all that nut. I'm trying to think of something. See, I can't rap on the fly. But anyway, another person said she wore like a girl who wet herself. Another person wrote, is she constipated? Another person wrote, beautiful girl, but she looked like she a bored housewife who had too many sherries and coming to answer the door. Sorry. Another person said, me sleepwalking from the potty back to my bed at 4 a.m. These reasons funny. Another person said, walking discreetly to the bathroom after eating Taco Bell. Another person said, if you trying to do sultry, it's really not working out. Well, look, I don't know how that girl be getting dick she be getting, but I guess being pretty is good enough, because when we seen that sex tape with her and Ray J, Kim do not give me like she's a good damn lay at all. She gives me like, girl, you need some practice. Another person said, I walked out of the sauna like that last weekend. Now, that line is like, if you know, you know. When somebody goes and say, a gay man said that, a homosexual said, I walked out the sauna like that last weekend. So now Kim was one of the stars who was heaped with opprobrium after Balenciaga released a controversial ad campaign involving children in 2023. I was like, opprobrium, opprobrium. What the hell? Like, see, that's why I can't with y'all, because I was trying to use, oh, look how smart we are, but we're throwing these words up in here. I was like, just say what the hell you saying. You couldn't say heat with contra damn versy, because that's basically what I'm assuming the word means. When you said that Kim was behind that whole Balenciaga campaign, then they said some pictures show children holding a teddy bear-shaped purses that were dressed in what appeared to be bondage gear. One of the snaps was of a bag on a desk sewn with papers. One of which was a United States Supreme Court ruling involving child pornography. A particularly controversial photo showed a child lying down on the couch next to a coffee table with empty wine glasses and Stella Artois chalices. Well, you know, I can't understand adults who will make kids sit around here and do all this. And then she came up with that whole thing to I'm reevaluating my relationship with the brand and blah, 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 so on and so forth. But look, should we blame Anna Wintour? Well, no, because I think because of Koonye's influence of letting her infiltrate the fashion space, that's why Kim is where she is, and now she thinks she that girl. Because it was like, yeah, Koonye was looking at you as like you were Amanda Lepore, and he was David LaChapelle, and you were more of a muse to him instead of a wife. So he was trying to dress you all up like you was his little doll, his little sex doll, because that's what you're giving with this whole look. Like, I'm living for the hair. It's giving very much you and Kris Jenner. No shade, got the same kind of hairdo, because I seen that haircut with Kris Jenner recently. And Pimp Mama Kris and you got the same hair. And, you know, the body is snatched, the titties is tittying. And, you know, you'll always be a pretty girl. Money well spent, you know, from whoever your surgeon and the person that do your injectables. But with all that being said, girl, you are not a fashion chick. Just sit front row, just watch and observe. Take it all in like you that girl. Pretend you're Anna Wintour and leave the fashions, leave the runway work, leave the modeling to the professionals. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story after them roasted gags that she received from them people with her out here walking, looking like Boo the damn fool with that whole, I was like, girl, what are you doing? Because you literally was walking like you just look like you literally took about 30 loads before you came out. And I'm not talking about laundry. Before you came out and worked that runway. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. So I sent you a clip of some lady walking the runway with her eyes all bugged out like she was doing booger sugar. Was that Ramona Singer? Because I remember that vividly. It probably was Ramona. Hold on, let me look. Oh, I knew it. I knew it from the dress who it was. Yeah, it was Ramona Singer. And the minute you said bug-eyed, I knew it was her. That was from the Housewives of Atlanta. People was looking like, bitch, what are you doing? Ramona said, I remember that episode of the Housewives of New York. Hey, put it back in your head. I don't know if she got what's that disease Wendy Williams got that be causing her eyes to bug out? I don't know about, look, quiet as it's kept, none of them damn Kardashians should be modeling. This is what happens when y'all just be letting anybody who's a Nepo baby work a damn runway. I can understand Kaya Gerber because her mother used to be a model, Cindy Crawford, and things of that nature. But when y'all out here just making random, you know, children of actors models, it's like, no, ma'am. Was it Graves' disease? I don't know. She got so many damn, because she mentioned something caused her eyes to pop out her head. It might be the Graves' disease. I don't remember, but you might be right with that. All right, so now let's go from one Kim to another, and let's talk about Miss Zolciak, since we were talking about that Kim, the previous Kim Kardashian, and Kim Zolciak, and since we're going to sit up here and talk about plastic surgery, let's get into it. So Kim Zolciak, I believe her and her daughter, Brielle, recently appeared on Botched. Brielle told me that she got injectables in her lips and got her eyes done, like the Botox or fillers or whatever under her eyes at like 18. And I'm saying, like, sis, your body is not fully finished developing. And y'all are out here injecting stuff in y'all face. And you wonder why you're not even 30 yet, but you out here looking like a 65-year-old housewife. And I'm not talking about a regular housewife from like back in the day. I'm talking about a housewife over on Bravo. So I did not understand why Miss Mamas was out here along with her, you know, with her own actual mother, looking great, looking all plasticized. So the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum broke down every time she went under the knife or the needle on Botch Presents Plastic Surgery Rewind. She broke down her procedures in a confessional Wednesday, telling viewers, I've done my boobs a few times, and then I had a tummy tuck. I did have filler in my lips. I do Botox all the time. The former Bravo celebrity, who's 40, she says she's 47, but she look older with all that stuff in her face. She said also listed a neck surgery for a herniated disc and a non-surgical skin tightening treatment, all therapy for her jaw. The reality star notably did not mention her laser vaginal rejuvenation surgery she made headlines for in 2023, nor the filler in her ears for supporting heavy diamond earrings. Yeah, because I remember the vaginal rejuvenation, because remember, once upon a time, not that long ago, well, they did tell you the date. She did say that I think that it was the rejuvenation that she wound up getting was due to, I think it was free actually, that it was like a free promotion where they went and basically gave her a free rejuvenation in exchange for her to sit out there and promote it. And I think a lot of times when it's not just her, but I do think that when when you have a huge platform, like you're on being on reality TV and stuff, you are a perfect candidate for some of these people to actually go in and reveal, like let you like promote their thing in exchange for free work. And if that's the case, yeah, it's definitely showing. Because look at the before and after. It's like, my thing is this, if you want to go and get things done because you don't like how you look in certain situations, I have no problem with that. Because I even said, like, if I was to when I get to a certain point, maybe when I turn 50 or 55 or whatever the case is, and I start noticing things are sagging and I got crow's feet and all kinds of other stuff going on in my face, I would get things nipped and tucked. I wouldn't be out here looking crazy like a blowfish. But if you want to get like a little Restylane, if you want to get a little, Botox, or, I would do like underwork. I wouldn't overdo it. Like, do a little bit as possible. And if you feel like you want to add a little something extra because it don't look like it's showing doing what it needs to do, then you add more. Sometimes I feel like y'all just go over the top, and then you feel like, oh, it's gonna absorb eventually. But then you hear these people that go on botched, and then they talk about, well, it's still like stuff going on in my face, and I'm starting to feel I got a little paralysis, which clearly is what, when you get all the injectables, it is paralyzing cells in your face. So if I want to get a little something done, like, there's nothing wrong with that. They always say, I mean, isn't it the old saying where they say, like, you're not ugly, you're just broke? So it's not that y'all are out here busted. It's just the fact that you just don't have the funds to be out here looking, what you need to be looking like. And I'm starting to notice a lot of black girls, especially some of y'all over there in the Housewives of Atlanta, is starting to get these things done to y'all face. And it's like, with all that melanin y'all got in y'all skin, there's no reason why you should be out here looking crazy. Literally looking like the back of a baboon's asshole with all that stuff y'all putting in y'all face. So let me continue with what she said. Now, this is the part, this sentence rubbed me the wrong way. She said, I sacrificed my body for 6 incredible humans, so I did a mommy makeover. Just because you're a mom doesn't mean you need to let yourself go. I will agree with that. However, I don't like the fact that she said, I sacrificed my body for 6 incredible humans. Bitch, you decided to spread your legs for Croy's Peen and decided to let him put 4 children up in your body. Plus, you had the 2 previous ones, Brielle and Ariana, who have also had work done. Where you having them put injectables in their lips and all this other stuff. It's like, no, slow your roll. Why is it that? See, this is another problem too. A lot of you white women, y'all can't stand being around black folks, but y'all want a lot of our features. It's like y'all always want the rhythm, but not the blues that come with it. So y'all want to go around with the big overinflated lips out here looking like a poor man's Bratz doll and thinking it's cute, because that's the thing that everybody's doing in Hollywood now, from the Kardashians to a lot of those, those Persian women out in LA. Because when I lived down in LA, I would see a lot of them Persian women that would have them similar looks. And she said, my mom always said growing up, if I had really big ears or a really big nose that bothered me or whatever it may have been, she would have fixed it. I've always kind of said the same thing to my girls, which I do believe of her admitting this. This is why you had Brielle going on, the house, not the house, but when she went on Botched and was talking about that in so many ways. her mother basically put her up to. Oh, excuse me. Her mother went and basically put her up to. Did I ever actually have that picture, Bria? I don't think I put her up in here because I wanted y'all to see what she. Oh yeah, I do got it. Because I was like, where she was basically talking about like her mother, basically, I guess, pushed her into. What did she say? Hold on. Let me pull up that stuff. She said basically her mother's influenced her to get like the injection. So yeah, when you are a mother and you're telling your kids that if you got a part of yourself that you don't like and it's bothering you, go ahead and fix it. And when you say that to your children, that's putting a lot of those insecurities and stuff, I feel like, in them looking at their face. And then she's out here, like, one side of her face is paralyzed because of all the injections you put in your face. Like, there's no reason why you in your 20s and you're putting, or even your teens, and you're putting filler in your face. You already have enough fat that's in your face as it is. You don't have wrinkles when you're 20. Or 22, unless you've been out here chain smoking since you was 12 or something. I could understand if your skin was looking a little ragged. But for the most part, there's no reason why y'all should be putting that stuff in your face, because you're looking at these older women, you thinking it makes you look good. And it's like, it doesn't. What all that filler and stuff does to you when you're in your 20s is it makes you look older. Wait until you're about Kim Zolciak age, which she's like on the later side of 40, pushing 50. I can understand then you would want to put all that in your face. Not when you 20, not when you 18. So yeah, here's what Brielle said, since we're talking about her. She basically, because she pointed the finger at her mother and discussed her history of dramatic cosmetic procedures. Now, in a clip from Botch Presents Plastic Surgery Rewind, the 28-year-old daughter of, child, do she look 28 to y'all, of Kim Zolciak said that it was her mother who took her to her very first lip filler appointment. Brielle said that after Kim, whose other daughter Ariana claimed had been stealing her teen modeling earnings with her estranged husband Croy Bierman, would take her to her own cosmetic procedure appointments and speak openly of all her touch-ups in front of her children, which influenced her own attitude towards abundant dermal filler use. I guess that dermal filler use, I guess that's what they call it. Now, while speaking to the plastic surgeon Terry Dubrow, Dr. Terry Dubrow, if you want to be specific, not the Nepo baby, y'all are so shady over there at Daily Mail, who revealed a rapidly reversed desire to dissolve her lip filler at the start of 2020, admitted that she wanted to reverse the effects of her numerous filler procedures, including deposits around her cheekbones that she thought were overly plump and asymmetrical. She also shared the shocking confession that getting filler injections became so common to her that it was like getting a Diet Coke, saying, I had just turned 18 when I got my lips done. I graduated high school, and the second I graduated, my mom took me to LA and I got my lips done by the doctor, and everybody was getting their lips done at the time. Funny enough, regular people, whenever their kids graduate and they do good on their grades, they get them like a car, they get them like stuff like that. I'm gonna take you to the surgeon, have them, fix a flat in your damn lips because, we were born without them. So now we got to go out here and we got to get those African features. So she said, no, it's like, let get in the chair. Let's go. And then it's funny how Kim was like, oh, well, I told her not to get the injections under the eyes and this and the other. And it's like, but when you boasting and you chirping in your child's ear about your own insecurities and plastic surgery, when you're introducing them, you have to realize that, young people are impressionable. And their frontal lobes haven't fully developed. So when they're out here seeing their mother getting all this work done and she's talking about her surgeries and bringing all those elements, and you probably not even realizing it because I don't know, I wasn't there. I don't know if it was even on camera, if she ever said it. But when you're around your child and you're bringing up stuff about, oh, well, Brielle, you need to get this fixed and your ears are too big. If you're making like off the cuff comments, which is playing into your children's insecurity, because a lot of times parents will do that too, where they'll bring up, certain things and kids will feel insecure about their, parts of their body or whatever the case is. And so at a young age, they're going and get work done and you out here looking crazy. Now, in a cut to a separate talking head style interview, Dubrow cautions providers to be wary of using filler on young patients as the substance, not the substance. I mean, I was going to say, I was thinking of the substance with, what the hell's on that? With Demi Moore. So yeah, they said, which is often used to erase the visible signs of aging, can instead make young patients look prematurely old. Now, according to the Cleveland Clinic, fillers tend to be tends to be synthetic or naturally occurring substances that are injected to smooth out lines and plump skin, particularly around the mouth, eyes, or even nose. Fat from the patient's body can even be removed and then injected into their faces to create a fuller appearance in the chosen spot. Well, maybe Madonna should have did that and had that injected in her ass instead of getting them damn pads or them butt implants or whatever that she got. Now her ass is all messed up. Because I think that had something to do with her sepsis. But anyway, so they said, although Brielle has expressed disappointment about her overly plump lips multiple times in recent years, it was filler under the eyes, around the cheekbones that seemed to trouble her the most. Kim claimed in an interview with Dubrow in the same clip that she had counseled her oldest daughter to steer clear of under-eye filler, despite having allegedly played a role in normalizing other filler procedures for her. So yeah, what she thought, I told she can get everything else done, but don't do it under the eyes. I'm like, sis, you already implanted in your child that she needs to be getting fillers so that way she could feel good about herself. And so she's probably in the mirror, nitpicking at her face and getting things that she shouldn't be getting. And then she was just like, don't do it. But sometimes these kids got to figure it out on their own. Oh, you must be you got to be like a class act to be around. Kim is a hot ass mess. This bitch spent more time putting Fix-A-Flat in her damn face than actually figuring out how she gonna feed them other little ass kids instead of having Ariana take care of all, her and them damn children. Because remember that story came out too, that Kim basically had her own, she's asking Ariana for money to help take care of the 4 kids she got, but didn't want to talk about the alleged what was it? She didn't want to talk about the alleged gambling problems that Kim has. But anyway, child, look, we got to protect Candy Burber's daughter. What's her name? Riley? Don't be hanging around them old clear children and putting all that mess in their face, because you better not be the next one to do it. You don't need them, you don't need to be putting all that Fix-A-Flat in your face. So anyway, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to what Bria had to say, where she pointed the finger at her mother? That's why I said, she got to be mother of the year the way she's been doing it. First of all, you depend on your youngest child to take care of you because you ain't got no money. Instead, you get up off your ass and figure out what reality show you need to be getting on so you can get some money to take care of you and them children. And then you got both your kids out here doing all kinds of crazy nips and tucks of their damn face that they don't need. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. So hold on as I close these windows. Let's see what the people are saying. Ew. And she's been very open about all her procedures. But the question, when she went down that list, I'm like, okay, sis, but the real question is, what didn't you have done? That's what you really should have told us. The real question is Kim still a black woman? Sacrifice. Those children had not a say. That's what I said. That's the one thing. I sacrificed my body. I'm like, bitch, nobody told you to spread your legs for Croy's dick and made him put 4 babies up in you. Like, don't get me wrong. If you want to nip and tuck some things because you lost, you had so many kids and stuff, you want to be out here snatched, because I understand it's the entertainment industry. So you have to maintain a certain look, a certain figure in order to be able to get work. Unfortunately, this is a vapid industry. So I can totally understand it. But when you place it, I sacrifice my body. It's like, girl, you act like you was putting yourself on the front lines and you in the military or something. Like, stop it. Sacrifice it. No, you sacrifice your coochie for 2 hots and a damn cot. That's what you did. The hot and the cot that you got yourself evicted from. Quiet as a skip. Botched by 20 should be a okay. She said more than buy a damn wig. They said beauty by Fix-A-Flat and duct. Damn, I totally forgot. I thought about it yesterday and I should have brought it up today. There was a clip of Nene talking about whether or not she would return to the Housewives of Atlanta, because she went on this podcast that I think it was the one that we talked about the other day with Crystal Minkoff, Crystal Kung Minkoff to be specific, and Cynthia Bailey. And she was saying something the other day. I will come back to the housewives, but I ain't gonna be no friend of. And then they had to tell her, sis, you was not on no damn. You was never a friend of. I was during season 9. Sis, you were not no damn friend of. Maybe you were. That might have been a season where she was doing some foolishness, and they pretty much you was on suspension. In the first couple of episodes, you couldn't be a part of, if I'm remembering correctly. But you was never a friend of. You always held a damn peach. So Nene was never a friend of, but at this point, do we even want Nene Leakes back on the Housewives of Atlanta? I mean, I would prefer to see her on like The Traitors, House of Villains, any of those other type of shows versus Atlanta Housewives. Like, I feel like that show is tired. It's done. I'm over it. Like, I don't even care about the Housewives no more. The only one I really watch is Beverly Hills. It is because the glam of it all. Like, it reminds me of like shows that I watched as a kid, like the Melrose Places and the 90210s and the Dynasty. I watched old episodes of Dynasty, even though Dynasty was before my time. And so I watched old episodes of Dynasty, so I'm aware of that whole aesthetic. So yeah, I don't see her wanting to come back for that. She can't, and I think even if she did come back, she couldn't save it. Also, I saw another one, Sheree talking about, should I do She News? Because remember at one point she did like She News on the show? Girl, you can't even get She by Sheree off the damn ground. What makes you think you're going to get She News? And all you need to do is maybe subscribe to Wix or whatever. You could build yourself a little website. And if you plan on getting into the entertainment news and gossip space, then I could understand that. But girl, if you can't even get Sheen by Sheree off the ground, what makes you think you could put together a website and do She News? In the words of Vivica Fox, you could put that where? Back there. You said she sacrificed her. Okay, 2 hots in a kind. Research me, you'll find me. Click them keys and Google. Not that song. Google me and look. It'll always be tardy for the party for me. But Google me, I was like that song. There's a reason why she's a one-hit wonder. Thanks to Candy Burris. That's what she wanted. Shift wigs by Sheree. Okay. She shifted more than a damn wig. All right, y'all. Let's move on with the rest of the show. Enough with the roast and the gags. And that's about Bob Vylan. So apparently Bob Vylan, post their controversial Glastonbury gig in June, where they were dropped from every damn thing, but I don't think they give a good goddamn. The one thing I will say, they weren't dropped from a record label because guess what? They own their label. They're independent. They put their own music out. So if some label thought, oh yeah, they could, like, oh yeah, we going to destroy. Nope. First of all, I feel like with everything that was going on with them, when they said death to the IDF and all the other stuff, that made kids like them even more. Now, speaking of death to the IDF, they performed recently at a concert and people started chanting it and they were like, Bobby Vylan said, not today. Satan, not today. Because I ain't trying to get in trouble any more than I'm already in. So now Bob Vylan played his first show on Wednesday night since the punk rock duo's controversial onstage comments at Glastonbury. At a sold-out surprise gig at London's 100 Club, of course it's going to be sold out because now they're looked at as heroes because they stood up against, the atrocities that's going on in Palestine, especially at the hands of the IDF. Frontman Bobby Vylan, whose real name is Pascal Robinson Foster, discouraged the crowd from repeating the chant that caused the band to become the subject of police investigation. During Bob Vylan's Glastonbury set, as y'all probably may remember, on June 28th, Robinson Foster led the packed audience in chants of death to the IDF, death to the IDF. They didn't say death, they said DAF. Because the Brits, shout out to y'all, but we know how, look, sometimes that's how we talk in New York too. We don't be saying death, we say death. So we with y'all. Like if I'm reading y'all, I'm reading me too. So, as well as free Palestine, and from the river to the sea, Palestine must be free. The set was streamed live on the BBC, and then people got all mad, and it was also, no, they should have just taken it down. I was like, okay, first of all, it's a live stream. They're performing. There was probably, them kind of giving a finger to the BBC because they went on before Kneecap, and they weren't even going to air Kneecap's performance. So by him pulling that, They were standing up for the people, and they weren't the only ones out there that were showing their solidarity and love for Palestine. There was quite a few other bands that were out there performing that were pretty much showing solidarity for Palestine. Y'all just didn't hear about them because they weren't out here saying all this other stuff. And then on top of that, when you got somebody who is Black saying this, and in the rock music space, which is another genre of music white people want to act like they created, that's already going to come out as a problem. And you already know, if he's an artist who's also a punk artist, punk is always about going against the establishment. So I don't know why people were surprised that they would come out and say what they're saying. And as I stated before, just because they were out here going against the IDF, not Israel, not Jews, people want to sit and twist the word, because this is what y'all do. This is what you centrists go and do. You corporatists, this is what y'all do. You like to twist people's words, and you like to say, oh, they're anti-Semitic. No, that's not what that was. He's going against the soldiers who literally, there is evidence, which somebody tried to tell me I'm lying and try to call me all kinds of names, because I'm out here spilling the truth. It's like, yeah, y'all would tell Palestinians to go meet up at a certain place so they can get aid. And when they would show up, y'all would open fire and kill them, particularly a lot of little children who were just trying to get food and water and medicine for their families. So for y'all to sit up, and then there's video footage of the IDF actually R-wording prisoners, male and female. So for y'all to sit up in here and say that's a lie, I've seen those videos with my own eyes. So nobody's lying on this. Y'all are trying to cover up stuff, or not even trying to cover it up. It's literally like y'all openly doing it, and then when people call y'all out on it, what do they do? Oh no, there's nothing to see. You didn't see that. What you're not going to do is piss on my leg and tell me it's raining, because that's another move that these Republicans are doing now too, which is y'all sit up in here and say this is the stuff that's happening. I mean, you put it out there, we see it, and then when we call you out, oh no, that's not what you saw. So what the fuck? You tell me my eyes is like deceiving me? No, I know what I saw. And what you're not going to do is sit up in here and, like I said, piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. So at the 100 Club on Wednesday night, several members of the crowd attempted to revive the Deb to the IDF chant, according to The Guardian. However, Pascal Robinson quickly stopped them. He said, no, you're going to get me in trouble. He said, as can be seen in the video captured by The Standard. I don't have the video. I should have probably brought that up for context, but just take my word for it. Apparently, every other chant is fine, but you will get me in trouble. He then instead began chanting Free, Free Palestine. So, yeah, that's what everybody should focus on. And I get why people want to jump in the whole Deb, because they weren't a part of what happened at Glastonbury. So they feel like, oh, yeah, let's revive it and let's do this here. But he's like, because with all the other stuff, yeah, we can talk about let's free the people of Palestine. They deserve to exist, which I'm so sick and tired of this talking point with a lot of the Zionists. Does Israel have a right to exist? Does this one? It's like, well, no shit. Yes, they should be allowed to exist. However, Palestinians in Palestine and in Gaza, and they deserve to exist too. So why do you feel like, and what it gives is you're basically saying that your life is more important than those brown people over there. We have a right to exist, but they don't. And to me, I can't live with that. I can't just sit around and just be like, these people have a right to exist, but those people deserve to die. They don't deserve to exist. I'm like, who are you to even determine who deserves that to live on this planet and who doesn't? That you feel that their land is something we have a right to colonize. And if we go and poke the bear, we drop the bombs, we get our shit funded by the U.S. military and our government, we're allowed to just continue to take money, have our health care paid for by Americans, while we don't even have free health care, but they do over in Israel. That's okay. But we got to sit out here and struggle. We got to have all that shit taken away from us with this stupid ass big ugly bill. But these people have a right to exist on our dime. I don't think so. If we got to sit and pay in the stuff, you do too. So now, as reported by The Guardian, at the end of their set, the band held up a Palestinian flag as Pascal Robinson made a speech. Said, quote, as hard as this week may have been for us, it has been nothing in comparison to what the Palestinian people are going through right now. And that is where the attention should be. And this is what he said. Now, according to the video reposted on Bob Dylan's Instagram story, that is where the focus should be. That is where these politicians and media outlets should be focusing their attention right now, not on the words or the actions of a fucking punk band. Well, it's easier to go and point the finger at artists who are showing basically they're the mirror and the reflection of what's going on in the world, because while the media likes to cover things up because they're complicit with it all, and they're funded by a lot of these corporatists who are cut to their money or whatever the case is, they're okay with genocides. They're okay with supporting and spreading lies and misinformation, which is why I don't watch legacy media, because they're still stuck in a time where they think that they could pull the wool over our eyes and we're too stupid to see it. But now we're in a time where social media exists. We saw what happened with the people in Gaza unfold in real time. And now you have people trying to control what we see. But we're not stupid. And a lot of the younger generation isn't stupid either. So now it's up to, unfortunately, it's supposed to be the older people teaching the younger people about the atrocities and the history. But older people's like, once y'all actually went through all of this stuff before. Y'all went to Woodstock and were a part of this whole thing. Now you get to be a certain age. It's like y'all got short-term goddamn memory loss and forgot that the same thing that was happening down in Glastonbury, this was stuff that was going on down in the festivals back in the day. So I don't know why a lot of y'all trying to act brand damn new. So I'll say all this to say, as I get off my political soapbox, what do you guys think of this story regarding Bob Vylan? Getting ahead of him is like, while it's cool or whatever, like y'all want to, you're pro-Palestine, all this other stuff. I don't want to get caught up in that mess again, because now we're going to get blamed for y'all taking it upon yourselves to be saying the stuff out here. We're going to nip this in the bud. You can say free Palestine. You can hold up your flags. You can continue to spread the correct information about the atrocities that's happening in the world, based off of Israel and America, and our American government giving money to help fund this unnecessary wars that we're dealing with, because it's not just one war going on; it's a multitude that we're getting ourselves caught up in. So we just got to continue to be vigilant. We got to continue to be awake, and I'll use a word that a lot of y'all hate and try to use the negative. We got to continue to be woke, because that's what you are. Be aware, wake up, unplug from the matrix, and continue to spread the information, the proper information that needs to be spread out there, because legacy media is going to continue to try to spread lies, misinformation, and the vitriol because it's racism. It's racism. It's Islamophobia. It's a bunch of other things that's going around in that whole situation. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, come on. Hold on. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic, y'all. And that's about Tina Knowles, who's out here throwing subs and thought that nobody caught it. And now she's trying to, now this is another thing of, speaking of people trying to piss on our leg and tell us it's raining. And yeah, so Tina Knowles is out here because apparently Nicki Minaj, as y'all aware, has been crashing out for the past 72 hours? That's what it feels like. I think it has been, because it's been like 3 days, 72 hours. We'll just go with that. So apparently, she's been coming out here saying that Roc Nation owe her about $100 to $200 million. She's been out here throwing shade at Jay-Z. She's made comments about Megan Thee Stallion. She made comments, she was just talking about a bunch of people. And Tina Knowles apparently threw a sub. So Nicki, as we said, she's been beefing, and then she mocked Megan for this lawsuit about the cameraman talking about, is this karma with a K, whatever the case is. And as I said before, Nicki, this is not something you need to be asserting yourself into, because if anything brought up your husband's past atrocities, you would be going off. And it seemed like to me she's still bitter because of that whole line from Megan's Law, that Megan's Law line. So she's still mad about that. And now you're trying to bring up karma with a K and all that, and then you try to throw Jesus on it to soften the blow, and it's like, we're not going to do that, because y'all be quick to do that. Throw the sky daddies and Jesus and God and stuff while y'all do y'all little sinister stuff, and you think it's okay because if I mention God or whatever, then that softens the blow. No, let's not do that. So what her real issue is because it has to do with Tidal. So in 2021, Tidal was sold to Square for $302 million, and Minaj and other celebrity owners reportedly keeping their stake after the sale. Because when he launched it, 15 artists, including Nicki, Madonna, a bunch of them was a part of it. They were gifted 3% of the equity. I don't even know what the point of Tidal was anyway, because I never liked Tidal. Why it is kept. Oh, it's not even that quiet, because I talk about it on the show. I'm an Apple guy, so I stick with Apple Music. I also use Spotify, but I don't pay for Spotify. I pay for Apple Music. Spotify, I keep it free, which is fine because all I do is listen to the podcast over there anyway. So I don't really need to be using Spotify like that. But for the most part, my go-to is Apple Music. So now Minaj said that she was offered $1 million for her share of the company, not the approximately $9 million that she would be owed if the company were valued at the price of the Square sale. Because of this, she has publicly blasted Jay-Z for allegedly owing her $200 million, including interest. She also posted seemingly fake news about a long-standing paternity test involving Hov moving forward, highlighting a man who has been claimed to be Jay's son for years now. So yeah, there's been no proof on whether or not Jay-Z, is this boy. They said he's your child, and it really messed me up. They said nobody ever said that was his kid, but yeah, this is what was posted on her Instagram. 50 Cent messy behind. Oh wait, I think 50 posted it, and then Nicki went and posted it 2 days ago on her IG. So now, here's the thing. We already know that Jay is not going to respond. Beyonce definitely don't be out in these streets responding when people be trying to come for her. She just, she be like, everybody on mute, literally, when it comes to anything that got to do with her. And she just let it flow water off a duck's back. But the person that always seems to be at the center of the drama, that don't know how to not be the Knowles spokesperson, is none other than Tina Knowles, formerly Lawson. So now, while nobody was mentioned directly, she didn't mention Nicki and all that other stuff. Tina got herself on the social media, posted a video for Beyonce and Jay-Z's fan page, which shows Babe praising her mother for the strength she's given her throughout her career. Now, of course, because Chris loves a receipt, just to come with y'all for the the roast and the gags and the grist for the mill. We have that clip. Oh, wait, hold on. I was like, what happened? That wasn't what I wanted to do. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring that clip up. We're going to play it, and then we're going to come back and talk. Please hold.
It's so easy to get confused, and it's so easy for you to get lost and just be so unhappy. And I've had moments where I just felt like it was too much, It's not like I haven't been through it, but I am always able to get back to myself because of you and because of the profound woman that you are. It's because of you. It's because of you. It's because of you.
Okay, so I think that was from her documentary or whatever the case was, which we still haven't gotten. But then, okay, so then the original post, which I think was taken down. So she said this. Good morning. And then it had the sun and the beehive. I mean, like the bees. So I guess it's to the beehive. She said, it feels good to wake up knowing my faves didn't lose their minds. Y'all have a great day. Remember to ignore the ignorance, as at Miss Tina Knowles would say. And then gave like a little hand heart, hand emoji as the heart, showing love and all this other stuff. So basically, I guess what she was trying to say was a clip of Beyonce basically saying that, you know what, if you allow this industry to get inside your head or whatever, people can lose a sense of who they are. And that's, I guess, what Tina was implying, was that Nicki's out here crashing out. Nicki has pretty much gotten lost in the sauce, and she just lashing out at anybody who can listen. And what I said is this: if Jay owes you money, if you feel like you were owed a certain kind of compensation from whoever, then if you have receipts, let your attorneys handle what needs to be handled. Stop getting on social media. Like, don't get me wrong, I live for the mill because it's something for us to talk about. But if it's down to whatever you got going on in your life, what Bob's going to do with this information except get on social media and start going and doing what they do? But what you think, they're going to windmill hard on Jay-Z and doxing them? The amount of money they got, they can make people disappear. So, if you got any kind of issues that's going on with him, let the courts and all the other stuff handle it. If you feel like there's money owed in that situation, whatever, if your business endeavors, RMS. Let them handle it. Stop putting it on social media because people are going to have their opinions. People are going to be sitting out here thinking that they understand how your business and stuff works. And it's like, what can we do with the information except speculate and talk about it? So yeah, but this is not the first time Tina has come out and said some things and then tried to backpedal. So remember, this a couple of months ago, she called out Kanye's ignorance for attacking Beyonce and Jay-Z's twins in one of the online rants. And I think she also, what she said, it's hard to remain positive and classy in the face of ignorance and evil, but I know that no weapon formed against me or my family shall prosper. This battle is not mine, but the Lord's. I know what God, I know that God I know that God has got this, basically what she said. And then there was stuff where she went in on people about Beyonce faking her pregnancy with Blue Ivy. You know, she said things before and deleted it and said, oh no, that's not what I said. And y'all misconstrued my words. And she did it again. I think she even talked about this very situation. Not Nicki specifically, but talking about like the trolls online saying certain things and her clapping back and stuff on that Outlaws podcast that T.S. Madison hosts. She basically talked about that on there. And I don't know if y'all seen the video, but definitely check out the episode. Or I think it was like the premiere episode of the show. But definitely check that out if you guys can get around to it. But then to wrap this up, so she responded 19 hours ago, probably more, it's probably past since the 19, because I had this open in case y'all try to delete stuff, because you know that's what they like to do on social media. So she said, you know, Miss Tina says, wow, I reposted this because it was talking about our relationship. It had nothing to do with anyone other than me and Beyonce. Please stop being messy and dragging me into something I don't have anything to do with. You guys should be ashamed, and all the bots are ridiculous. So it's always about bots, and it's always about the bots is over there on Twitter, not Instagram. So, you know, with Elon and all that foolishness, he got them going over there. But you can't sit out here and call people crazy for wanting to speculate that you know, you talking about Nicki when the timing of it all insinuates that. When Nicki going and having her little crash out talking about Jay-Z doing her dirty and jumping in and going and lashing out at everybody, and Beyonce being a part of it because she's married to him, and you bring up this clip of all clips, you cannot sit up in here and try to tell us that the timing of it all doesn't reign suspicious. Like, this is what I keep saying about people. And I'm going to keep saying it to the guy. That seems like this is going to be the ongoing thing today. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Like, don't try to treat me like I'm dumb and I don't see exactly what you're doing. It's very much given, look over there. Like, this is not what you're saying, but it's exactly what I'm saying. So if you want to come out here and throw a dagger, even though Nicki like to throw subs, and if you want to throw a sub back, be a little more specific in the situation, because you can, oh, this is the thing about me and my daughter. But it's like, okay, you can have a heartfelt moment with your child, which you do every damn day since you there all the time at the Cowboy Carter tour. I mean, what else you doing? So you literally see Beyonce every day. But of all the clips you sit up here and repost, that's the one you post where Beyonce is sitting up in there talking about the people losing themselves in this industry and not allowing it. And because she has a strong foundation in her mother, that is literally what has prevented her from losing her mind and losing a sense of who she is. That literally sounds like it was a dig. So while I still stand on business in regards of Nicki, definitely, girl, get you a therapist, work your stuff out in the therapy sessions, and stop putting so much on the social media and crashing out and all this other stuff, because people gonna be looking at you like you losing your mind, is giving coke. Like, I've seen some of the videos where people going online saying that you literally seem like you done snorted the whole damn pile, very much like Tony Montana in the third act of, I said, damn, what's the name of that movie? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Scarface. I don't know how that damn name of that movie slipped my mind. I've seen Scarface like 100 damn times already. Love that JoJo Moroder soundtrack. But anyway, so they say, like, instead of getting down to all of that, it's just like, girl, let your people, your business manager, or even your lawyers, if you have any issues and if you got evidence that you've been taken advantage of and Jay-Z promised you whatever, let your lawyers handle it so you can get your money. Because the word on the curb is a lot of this is going on because you got debts. And a lot of your performance and musical earnings is going to First Tennessee Bank up until 2029. So there's a lot of different situations allegedly that's going on with, yeah, you got a lot of debts that you're trying to pay off. But if you really wonder why, you're mad if you don't own your masters or any kind of business that was going on, maybe you need to go over there and have a little talk with Weezy, who went and sold Young Money, and you don't have access to your things instead of lashing out at just Jay-Z. So I definitely want to hear from y'all regarding this story. Do you think that Tina Knowles was out here trying to play in our face and it was a direct dig at Nicki Minaj? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments, or we just overreacted. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Hold on. This is like, let me close up all of this before I move on to the next thing. Go on to the next thing, Claudia. He said, oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know anyone. I think I knew one person that used Tidal. I wasn't paying for that. I was like, and I still didn't get it. I was like, Tidal was not for me. So I never got interested in using it. I've been thinking about switching to Apple Music for the longest. The CEO of Spotify is terrible, and one artist that I love refused to put her music on Spotify because of their low artist payment. Wait, who's the artist? Oh, you talking about Joanna Newsom. I forgot Andy Samberg cute self was married. But yeah, Spotify is a joke. I don't fuck with Spotify. I don't fuck with Spotify. I'd rather stick with Apple Music. First of all, the sound is better. They use Dolby Atmos, which is what I like anyway. And there's a lot of variety of music that I listen to. I like a lot of DJ mixes and stuff is on there. So I prefer Apple Music, to be honest. And so the barbers went and spam Tina's account section. She changed the account. Yeah, I saw that too. I saw a couple of comments like there was nothing but the barbers was all up in the comments. I was like, I'm not reading all that stuff. Talking about Nicki don't lie. I was like, okay, like y'all need to go touch grass. So there was a lot of that going on. I was just like, okay. Well, her daddy had a baby about 2 decades ago with a woman supposedly, and that person hasn't been acknowledged. Ooh. Wait, who talking about Nicki? The new Monique and Tyler. Okay, so now let's get into this story about The View, because Alyssa Griffin is out here, even though she is supposed to be the sole conservative over on The View. I beg to differ, because I feel like some of the stuff that Sarah Haynes be saying be giving me a bit of the side eye. But nevertheless, they did a thing on The View where they were talking and basically said that, her feeling the heat at the Hot Topics table, that she has cried backstage over the years. So she get on here crying, giving them a little white girl crocodile tears. And I say, boo, bitch. So now during a discussion on the episode about younger generations creating safe spaces for themselves to cry at work amid difficult situations, legal expert Sunny Hostin kicked off the chat by saying, I've never felt the luxury to be able to cry at work. I just try to get my work done, be as excellent as I can, and go home and chill out. Well, that's because, Sunny, you are a woman of color. You're a Black woman. For people who are Black, or not, or I'll just say, non-melanated folks are not afforded the opportunity or the authority to just sit up in their office or go in the bathroom stall and have a little cry and get their emotions and all this stuff. You're not allowed to do that. We have to push through. It's like literally I was having a conversation with a coworker of mine the other day, and he was telling me that his dog just passed away. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, when my dog died, Buffy, yeah, that was her name. That goes to show you how much I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So my first dog, yes, her name was Buffy, and she was a Pomeranian, and she passed away. And after that, I went right back to work. He was telling me that like, when his dog died, I think it was like maybe a week and a half ago, he came and went back. I said, that's a Black people thing. Like we move on. Like we don't move on. We still have those emotions. We just have to suppress it. We have to realize we got to get back to, we don't have time to have a moment and mourn or whatever. We have to get right back to the thing. So whenever you're having a bad day where it's like, yeah, maybe when I get home, I just vent and let all that negative energy out and all that other stuff. But we try to, like, the worst thing you could possibly do is hold it in. So now Griffin went and said, I cry at work, but she said that she hides it so the bosses will never know. Well, sis, now they do, because you openly admitted it on the show. Now, after her colleagues expressed shock over the admission, Griffin doubled down, telling them, I have cried at this job at least half a dozen times. Are you kidding? Have you done this job? Well, I think it's probably because, you being able to cry and all those other stuff at work. It's just like, I guess, sometimes when they're at the hot topics table, things get relatively intense. And I do feel like, Alyssa, is she really this so conservative? Because Anna Navarro is a Republican too, but I don't know. It's hard to read Anna at times on what type. Maybe she's a fiscal Republican, like she's fiscally conservative, but a lot of her views kind of maybe lean. The way she's been talking, it leans liberal, where she's like, "Oh, I'm friends with Joe Biden and and all this other stuff." So she seems like to be the only one up there that be having some sense in a lot of ways. But I do feel like a lot of times, especially when it comes to Alyssa going up there and giving her opinion, Sarah Haynes will never hesitate to jump in, because I'd be like, girl, you want to eat her box? Like, you want to jump over there and just in between commercials eat her box? Because sometimes the way you be going in, like, you literally be trying to help her articulate her words, or you want to be her cheerleader in some sort of way. And it's sort of like Alyssa has to learn to fight her own damn battles. Just like you're supposed to be the independent voice, although I don't understand people who are independent, but they mostly vote Democrat. It's like, sis, why don't you just become a damn Democrat? Like, independent people, I always thought, is like, well, this is why we need a third party. Because how are you registered independent, but then it's like, oh, but I mostly lean Democrat in my views, so I'm going to vote as a Democrat. Me, if you're independent, there should be other options, so that way if somebody is offering the things that you need or that you stand for, that's who you vote for. And it's like, oh, I'm just going to vote for a Democrat, even though I don't agree with a lot of the Democratic stuff. I'm going to vote for them because Donald Trump's policies are way worse. Like, that just don't compute with me. This is why I just don't understand why we don't have multiple parties. There's other countries that have multiple political parties. I kind of wish that we could have those other parties. They can talk about, oh, it's going to split the vote. It's going to be doing that. And I'm like, we're over 300 billion, right? 300 million, I would say, people that we have living in the United States. We should have multitude of parties. And if it splits the thing, okay. Because if the Republicans and the Democrats is not doing what needs to be done, because to me, it just seems like Republicans have gone off the deep rails and the Democrats have literally become the Reagan Republicans of the 80s. Like, your politics lean very centrist. And it just seems like it's giving Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush Republican, which is why I think also hurt Kamala, because, oh yeah, we need to join forces with the Liz Cheneys and the George W. Bush. I'm like, what? Them 20, what was it, like, in when was it, 2001? That was about almost 30 years ago, damn near. We was against the things that George W. Bush and them was doing. Now you want to break bread with them? Like, what? It's like recently there's this new book that's coming out where, remember when they had Jimmy Carter's funeral? Which I know Jimmy was rolling up in that damn grave by Trump showing his ugly ass up there to begin with. And he goes and says the word on the street was that he invited Obama, who he called every kind of name under the sun, using all kinds of racial, Islamophobic undertones. He's not an anti-immigrant, all this other stuff, because his middle name was Hussein. Just like, it's really gonna gag y'all, because Zohran Mamdani, his middle name is Kwame, and so is the Speaker of the House. What's it? Hakeem Jeffries. His brother middle name is Kwame. And look, Hakeem Jeffries' brother just recently came out and endorsed Zohran. So, I love family drama. That's the entertaining kind. But with this whole situation, to get back on the situation, I could totally understand why people get emotional and they cry at work. Me, I've never felt that. It was people that pissed me off and I want to punch a hole in the back of their head, but I never took it there. It's just sort of like, I let management handle it, or I take a breather, I walk away, or so. But I'm trying to think if I ever had any like issues with people. I probably have, but I don't never pay that shit no mind, because I always say, unless them people pay your bills, pay their ass no mind, in the words of RuPaul Andre Charles. I don't let people take my eye off of what's important, which is, I just want my water and my check, in the words of Nene Leakes. So then they went on and said, Because, you know, Griffin has clashed with people. And I think the only reason why Alyssa got that job, no shade, is because she was on Trump's first campaign. You know, she worked with him during his first presidential run. And quiet as it's kept, we all know that he don't want to be president this second time. He's just doing it because he don't want to go to jail. So that's why he letting these other idiots run around, Mike Johnson and Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth and JD Vance and all these other morons just do whatever they doing. And he just signed off on it and just be the damn mascot. That's literally what he is. So that way he just avoid prison. So yeah, she said that's a very hard job, and I can understand because you're the sole person. But this is why I've always said that on The View, they need to mix it up. You should not have more liberals than conservatives. One person cannot be the sole voice for the conservative party. I kind of wish that they would mix it up and have like more progressive voices on the show. But I get what ABC is doing. Y'all don't want a progressive voice. You don't want somebody that kind of talks like a AOC or a Jasmine Crockett. I mean, you'll have them on the show, but you don't want them to go a little too progressive, or a Zora Mamdani, who y'all have yet to invite on your show. So y'all don't want that over there because he's anti-status quo. And there are people out there that lean more anti-establishment and anti-status quo than they are for the oligarchs and the 1%. I mean, there's people out here who will sit and worship them because y'all are less than smart and y'all need to wake the hell up. But there's, for the most part, this is why a lot of people are gravitating towards Zoran. And then come to find out there was a recent story that came out that he had accumulated way more votes than people thought over Cuomo. So they tallied up all the votes recently. I think it was yesterday. He had over 400 some odd thousand votes. Like, I think a little bit over 500,000, which I gagged. I was like, what? I was not expecting that many people to turn out. So then they said that the camera cut to Brian Tedder watching from the sidelines. Griffin clarified her stance, saying, I would like to state for the record, this is a great job, and every time I have cried, Brian gives great hugs. See, now, this is what I can't with y'all, because if you tell them, because here's the thing, this is the game that they like to play over there at The View. Y'all like to sit and be like, oh yeah, we bicker and we fight, but we get along, and it's like, we all know, like, women, a bunch of women together, y'all don't really get along, or whatever the case is. And I should not have to sit and clean up, because you already know there's going to be catnip for the blogs. There's going to be catnip for the gossip sites. There's going to be catnip for people like me to talk about on my show. So, yeah, but for the record, it's a great job to have. I'm appreciative. And I'm glad to be here. Although, there was something else that was pointed out by the article, Entertainment Weekly. Shout out to them. So she had gotten, this is not the first time, because she's gotten into it with people. Like, she clashed with Anna Navarro in December 2023 and said, I can't really get a word in without you attacking me. So I wouldn't say this is a totally different environment of women supporting each other. This is what she told Navarro, who responded by telling her, oh, I haven't attacked you yet. The shade. Now, earlier that year, they said Griffin engaged in perhaps the most heated on-air fight to date with Hostin, which saw the former Donald Trump associate melt down in an absurd disagreement, saying, well, Sonny likes to make it personal with me. This is what she said after feeling like she didn't receive an opportunity to respond to Hostin's claim that Griffin couldn't appropriately defend her former boss. Saying, are you going to give me a chance to answer? I mean, this is absurd. This is not what the show is about. This is Barbara Walters' legacy. Let a woman speak. This is what Griffin said before calling the show a disgrace before a commercial break, which means that she's gone out and said little things under her breath, or said things that she's probably been chastised over it. Like says, watch your mouth when you're on air, because now you putting out this narrative of y'all not getting along. There's enough blogs and tabloids that run around saying y'all don't get along, or there's backstage clashes between the women, and now you're adding fuel to the fire by saying this is a disgrace, you're not letting me talk, and all this other stuff. And Sonny can be a bit much at times, don't get me wrong. Sometimes she do get on my nerves with the pompous nose up in the air attitude, or whatever the case is, where she does at times. That it does work my root canal nerve. I'm not gonna hold you. But for the most part, Alyssa hasn't really been that much of an issue with me until recently. Like, especially when she's been spreading like this Islamophobic information Some of the stuff she's been saying about Zora Mamzani been pissing me off on that damn show. And I'm like, sis, you're not even from New York. So I don't even know why you've been trying to speak out on things you don't understand. Or spreading a lot of this corporate centrist propaganda that she's been spreading on the show too. And not really going as hard as she should be on her former boys. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Alyssa Farah Griffin talking about that she be crying at least a half dozen times at The View? I mean, have any of you actually had the same experience where you've had to release those endorphins and you cried at work? Me personally, I've never done it. I've never felt a reason to do it. I mean, I've had bad days, but for the most part, no. I've never really gotten to the point where I've cried at work. There have been times, like I told you, I wanted to put a hole in the back of somebody's head, but for the most part, it's never been that kind of emotional. It's been the other type of emotional. It's like, child, I will throw your ass about this window. Metaphorically speaking, because I don't want to go to jail. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, so nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I hit the wrong button. Hold on, let me close that. Let me close that. And let's see what the people are saying. Lanier says, Alyssa seems to be the typical Republican, so she used to being in a fishbowl. So right, a day in and day out with people thinking like her, so that many less conservative voices is new to her. But I don't understand. They've always kind of been like that, where there's been, they've always had one political pundit, Republican, conservative, we want to call it, on the show. So I don't know why this is brand new. I mean, even Nutmeg McCain said it. And she would come out with her little side comment. The streets say this is Whoopi last season. If true, who should be the new moderator? Funny enough, you're not the first person to bring this up. I've heard this. We'll see if this ends up being her last season. But if they do make who should be the new moderator? Joy. I think Joy should be the moderator. And if they're gonna make her, because I don't know who they would pick to be, like if she was to do, because she does 4 days a week, just like Whoopi does. Where Joy has off Mondays, Whoopi has off Fridays, and then that's when they bring Anna in. So it'd be interesting. I'm like, who would actually be a good moderator to take Joy's, like when Joy does her, if she ends up being the new moderator to replace Whoopi, who would be the new moderator they could bring in that can kind of fulfill that? Because I don't know if Sunny has it. I've heard the rumors that they said it would be Sunny, but I'm like, no, Sunny to me she just seems a little too judgy. I can't see her being the new moderator. I definitely don't see Alyssa. I don't know about Sarah. Yeah, they probably have to bring a new girl in. That's probably what they would have to do. Somebody that could be really interesting and entertaining. But yeah, I would feel like that Joy would have to be the perfect person for that. Unless what they do is on Friday will be the week, like everybody get 4 days now, and we just film 2 shows on Thursday, and then the Friday is the previously recorded. That's why what they would have to do. Plus, they're doing the other View show that they do on the weekend, My Weekend View, which now they started adding those to Hulu, but they don't talk about politics at all. They talk about entertainment stuff and pop culture stuff, which I actually think is relatively interesting. Who knows? Maybe I think what they need to do is they need to bring in somebody younger than Alyssa. Alyssa is like the same age as Taylor Swift. She's like 35. So I think they need to go younger and maybe bring a 30-year-old or like a Gen Zer. Wait a minute. Alyssa is Gen Z, isn't she? Or is she like a younger millennial? So I think like they could bring in a much younger person and see if they can bring them from that perspective. But then the question remains, are young people actually watching The View? Like you said, I will admit that I too am registered as independent. At least for me, I do it because I'm open to the possibility, though unlikely chance, that a Republican might have a stand. Yeah. Not now thinking about it, I was like, I think that's why people register as independent, because it's like, you know what, it leaves the option open that, maybe a Republican will actually change their ways. Or no, they just seem like they've gotten worse. So maybe that is the reason why. That could be the main reason why a lot of people register as independent. I have entertained the idea. All right. Okay. Now, speaking of The View, let's get into some more news. And let's talk about Sunny Hostin husband, because it seemed like he settled with that American Transit Insurance Company, and the insurer has dropped him from their medical fraud lawsuit. Remember when we talked about that once upon a time? So I'm like, looks like Sonny's husband is off the hook in that whole situation. So shout out to Page 6 for this news. So they said American Transit American Transit, sorry, because apparently I can't read today. Let's start that over. American Transit accused the View co-host Dr. Husband, Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin, along with 200 other medics, of fraudulently making insurance claims and getting kickbacks in one of the biggest RICO cases ever filed in New York. The Hostins lawyered up, threatened to countersue for $5 million, and accused the insurance company of harassing their family. On Tuesday, American Transit issued a mea culpa and agreed to pay Dr. Hostin for the claims he submitted, saying, quote, Dr. Hostin was named primarily because he holds a small share of a surgical center that was involved in a dispute, is what American Transit said in a statement posted on its website. After further discussions with Dr. Hostin and his attorneys and investigation by the ATIC has voluntarily withdrawn the suit against Dr. Hostin and dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice, which means they cannot file a suit again. Additionally, it is said that ATIC has agreed to make payment on the invoices submitted by Dr. Hostin to ATIC. It also expressed deep regret for any public speculation against Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, his wife Sonny Hostin, or his children, which may have resulted from the lawsuit. Now, Dr. Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon, was one of 200 doctors named in the lawsuit, alleging that he knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries, that using a camera. Well, basically, what that means is that's using a camera inserted through a tiny hole to check out joint damage. Now, his attorney, Daniel Thwaites, slammed the filing as a blanket, scattershot, meritless lawsuit by a near-bankrupt insurance carrier. The couple also hired power attorney Mark Geragos, who has been getting around lately, and threatened to countersue for $5 million if ATIC did not issue an apology and withdraw its case against the doc. Meanwhile, the View co-host blasted the lawsuit as frivolous and accused the insurer in a statement to Page 6 at the time of harassing me and my family in a frantic attempt to not pay its bills, saying, quote, our family will not be intimidated and harassed. We remain unbowed, she told us. Insurance companies like American Transit make an already broken healthcare system nearly impossible for Americans to navigate and get good healthcare by engaging in despicable tactics like harassing doctors. Yeah, because you already know, like, the doctors want to be up in there doing their damn job, and you have these daggone insurance companies that want to sit and take advantage of people. Hence why I think we need to just get rid of insurance companies altogether. And I truly believe, like, you know, when they be talking about cancer research and AIDS research and stuff, I truly believe that cures exist. But why would they find a cure when, in fact, they make so much money in keeping y'all on the medicines? Like, they will never, I'm sure that there's been a cure in place. They probably have them out there. They made sure that it doesn't come out, but they want to keep the hope alive and keep dangling the carrot, because it's like these insurance companies make so much money off the backs of the people. And it's just disgusting, because at the end of the day, these people just want to keep that money flowing. They don't give a damn about us. And some of these doctors that actually care about human beings and want to do their job, they can't do it because then you got these people coming in and do this. And don't get me wrong, there are doctors out there that are greedy, that do kickbacks, that do all kinds of other things, and will try to upcharge people on things that they don't need, because then it's like, oh, the insurance will pay for it, and then I can just take a little bit off the top of whatever the case is and then keep it moving. But then when you get greedy, that's when they start to notice. And they wait until it piles up for them to pounce on you, be like, oh, you owe me millions of dollars, whatever the case, or hundreds of thousands of dollars, to be nice about the price. So they also, and then she went and said a while back when we first talked about it, she said, let me be clear, where I come from, American Transit will receive a PhD from Fafo University, which I know means fucking around and find out. And then Geragos said to Page 6, they said, in what can be described as a blatant attempt to weaponize Sonny Hostin's celebrity, American Transit tried to leverage a settlement. Dr. Hostin and Sonny refused to fold. They fought back. He added, Dr. Hostin, Sonny Hostin, and their family have been fully vindicated. It's an honor to represent the family. So they ended up, they were vindicated as their attorney said, and good on them, because maybe there was a situation where this insurance people were trying to be like, you know what, this is the husband of someone who's very famous. She's, a high-powered, former prosecutor who makes her money and her bones being on television as a personality and getting, and doing other freelance gigs, on some, I don't know if she still pops up on any of the legacy media channels like the CNNs or the MSNBCs. I know she was doing that at one point. I know Anna still does it. But then they probably was like, okay, we see a gold mine, we're going to take advantage. But you're not realizing the type of woman Sunny is. Now, let's play devil's advocate. Now, what if it's like, because she knows a lot of people in a lot of high-profile places and a lot of powerful people behind the scenes, and really put the pressure on them, being like, don't mess with me, and then probably call them a couple of favors and did what needs to be done. But that's a possibility. But for the most part, I'm going to go out of my way to believe that it's like, yeah, what you're not going to do is sit up in here and try to take advantage of me in these times because you're trying to leverage my celebrity and me being on a popular, one of the number one shows in America, which is The View. Say what you want, but it is the number one daytime talk show in TV right now. Hence, the Emmy Awards, daytime Emmy Awards to be specific, dropped today. And The View, of course, was nominated for multiple awards. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but they were nominated. So, yeah, so for them to go here and do that, it was like, okay, so they got away with it. Nice try. And it is what it is. So I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story about Sunny Hostin and her husband being vindicated over this little smear campaign from this insurance company that was trying to get some, squeeze all the juice out the lemon, because the only celebrity the only attachment that they had, which made this story even worth talking about in the media, was because it happened to be the husband of someone who's on a popular daytime talk show. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Right, hold on. So it was like, I'm getting a bunch of damn messages. This is why I hate looking at this. Chad, we getting a Scrubs reboot. Here they go rebooting every damn thing. I'm over it. That was lazy. Of course, Donald Faison coming back. What the last thing you've seen from Donald Faison in since Scrubs was canceled? And Zach Braff, whose sidebar was also in the Broken Hearts Club. Look at what's today's episode brought to you by the Broken Hearts Club? Second time we talked about it. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about Kai Cenat, who was being dragged for his participation in, making a deal with Tarjay for a personal care brand. Now, for the good news, shout out to Kai because he made Time Magazine's, I think People 100, or was it the 100 Most Influential, whatever the hell they call it. But yeah, he made the cover of Time Magazine, which, is well deserved. He is one of the most successful streamers in the internet space right now. So he definitely gets his flowers for that. However, I find that child to be so damn annoying, but I get it. It's a generational thing, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. So yeah, now he's being dragged because I don't know if he probably is not aware. And per usual, you know how these rich folks are. It's like when y'all get a little money in y'all pocket and you start to be beyond, the rest of us regular folk, it's sort of like y'all don't give a damn about the average person because you can't relate to that whole world. And get your money how you need to get it. But when we're dealing with a situation where there's a company who decide to roll back DEI initiatives against your own people, because it does affect Black folks. Like, why would you jump in and make a deal with the very company? And to me, it's just like a slap in the face of Black folks when you jumping in on that. So yeah, so he's facing backlash, which should not come as a surprise. And I think it's because he decided to host a sleepover inside of Tarjay over the weekend. Now, I do have that clip, courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk, because they always had a tea. So let's play that clip of him being annoying, and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
Yo. We did it. Tone made it.
Boy, y'all boys look good, boy.
Tone made it. The body wash. Boom.
Body wash out, nigga.
The on-the-go cologne. Boom.
The deodorant, boom. The lip balm, boom.
Wow.
Wow.
Y'all niggas in Target, bro.
Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Oh my gosh.
Yo!
Oh my
Hey!
god.
Oh my god, we got hella real estate.
Oh my gosh.
We got hella real
Oh my
estate.
gosh.
Nah!
Okay, so now this child always damn screaming on camera. So now they are riding through it.
Be put on, bitch, like what the fuck?
Damn. Where did you get that from?
Inside the Tarjay.
I can't get no coochie out the queen, put some Lulu on it.
When it boils down to it, you want to know something. I always said if there was ever a zombie apocalypse, I would definitely love to live. I ain't saying no Tarjay. I said I would like to live in a Costco because Costco got everything. They got clothes. They got a Starbucks in there. They got everything in Costco. So that'll be the place. I mean, quiet as it's kept. They got a Tarjay. I mean, they got a Costco and a Tarjay's. I mean, not a Costco. They have a Starbucks in Tarjay as well. But yeah, so now he's facing backlash and all the other stuff. And that people have been boycotting in response to the company's decision to cut back on the programs, the DEI programs. And they said, and you already saw the clips and stuff where I just showed y'all the group facing, racing around the store. Fans complained about the stream, saying Tarjay trying so hard to get Black people back in stores without hardcore apologizing. They let Kai and Amp have a sleepover in the store. IDC, how many influencers they pay, still not shopping there. This is what one person wrote on the Twitter. Another hopped in the comments section of a post from the Neighborhood Talk to add, the moment y'all realize these rich celebrities don't care about poor and working class folks, the less triggered you'll be. As long as they stay at the top, what happens to the bottom doesn't concern them. And, it's sad to even think in that sense, but that person is absolutely right. It's sort of like they don't care about y'all. All they care about is as long as they're, having whatever kind of deal, brand deal, whatever the case is. And don't get me wrong, good for him, because remember, there was word on the curb that Kai don't smell so pleasant. So remember that story that came out a couple months back? Was it a couple? I think it was like a couple months back. So with him coming out with a line, deodorants, body wash, all the other stuff, that's a great thing. Like if I was in his position, I'd definitely be putting out a line of body washes, and I've got other and brand ideas and stuff that will happen down the road once I get enough people to subscribe to the damn channel. I'm almost at 3K, which is a big deal. So hit that like button and subscribe on the YouTube channel if you can, and all the other platforms. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, where this clip will be posted. Now that we're done with the shameless self-promotion, let's get back to this. So I'm all for the promotion. I'm all for him wanting to broaden out his brand and want to create some stuff for his constituents to want to, purchase whatever it is, however the hell it smells. But you could have done other endorsements with other people outside of Tarjay. I don't know specifically who. Maybe somebody who isn't all for what Trump is, who are very pro-Trump in a lot of their ideals or whatever, or trying to roll back DEI initiatives and all this other stuff. If you could find whatever company, do your research. I mean, I'm sure you have people on your team that can do that research, and you can release it in other places that are pro people of color, particularly pro Black people. And so, yeah, now you're in a situation where Black people are going to boycott your stuff, and you're probably not even going to make. I mean, of course, I know Black folks are going to go to the Tarjay and buy your stuff. There's some that still shop there, and even recently, Cardi B got dragged for earlier this year for posting a picture of herself and her family at Tarjay. So they dragged her. And we had Tina Knowles. See, this is the one, after we done windmilled on her with the Nicki Minaj video, she, here's something positive she did. She actually used her platform to condemn people shopping at Tarjay in a post on social media back in January, saying, so y'all bow down and kiss the ring, huh? Crossing you off my list, no more Tarjay. So if Black people who are big contributors, excuse me, to Target are being denied initiatives, why would you continue to give them your money? Like, you always know, like, the way you protest is with your wallet. And I know some people be like, let's get rid of Walmart and let's do the same. It's hard because, you know, Walmart is in a lot of small towns and a lot of people are dependent on Walmart. So a lot of people who, you know, where there's a Walmart around their neighborhoods, they don't have the same those same choices that they could make where they could just thumb their nose at a Target versus a Walmart. So that's all I got on that topic. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you feel like what that person said before, which is like, you know, at the end of the day, what you need to realize is that these rich people don't care about poor working class folks. And as soon as y'all learn about that, stop putting a lot of y'all energy and everything behind these rich people, because when they get to a certain status financially, they show their true colors. They show what they really care about and who they really are. And as Maya Angelou once said, many a times over, or many moons over, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Let's see what the people saying in the comments. You say you don't see those T-Mobile internet commercials. Oh yeah, they do that. I forgot. The two guys from Scrub, yeah, they do the T-Mobile commercial, which I am a T-Mobile user, so I should have remembered that. But then again, I don't really watch ads and commercials, except the ones I'm forced to watch when I'm on the YouTube. Oh yeah, so that's what top 100 creators. I used to watch him a lot last year, but this year I only watched him once, probably because you outgrowing his foolishness. So that could be it. They have a Starbucks inside both of my local Targets. It's hard for me to boycott Target when people don't care enough to boycott Starbucks. I have both on my You are a traitor. But then again, I can't talk because I still drink Starbucks coffee. And it's like, look, Dunkin' Donuts coffee be cheap, nasty crap. They can get my damn order wrong. I will go to the mom and pop coffee shops, but they don't be making them frappuccinos and you know, all the type of coffees that I drink. So I remember Kai would go to Walmart all the time on his stream, so it was very odd decision to work. Maybe because, you know, I guess apparently Target offered him a better deal. And I always say all money ain't good money, but I guess according to him, this was probably too good to pass up. All right, y'all. So now let's see how many more topics we got to the end of the show. All right, so we got about 5 more topics left until we wrap up today's show. So before we get to the final 5, can you do me a solid, please, and thank you of doing hitting that like button if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And also after the live stream, I'll definitely be putting in timestamps so that way those who come in and watch the playback can go right to the clips of whatever specific topic at hand, I should say. So that way you can just do that instead of having to sit through all the banter that we do between each topic. So now, without further ado, let's get into some homosexual news, because yesterday it was announced that Queer Eye is finally coming to an end. So speaking of, because I said the final 5 before we get to this topic, so let's talk about the Fab 5. And word on the street, meaning the Netflix streets, is that Queer Eye is finally coming to an end after their upcoming 10th season, which they are in the process of filming. So Deadline understands that the series, which launched in February of 2018, has been renewed for a 10th season, which will be its last. The show will have aired around 90 episodes across 10 seasons when it departs, with Washington, D.C. set as its last location to find a fresh group of individuals ready for a life-changing experience. Now, Queer Eye revolves around the Fab 5 experts in various fields, including relationship expert Karamo Brown, fashion expert Tan France, and wine expert Anthony Porowski, and hair and makeup artist, expert, I should say, Jonathan Van Ness, as a.k.a. homosexual Jesus, and interior designing expert Bobby Burke, starring in 8 seasons and was replaced for seasons 9 and 10 by Jeremiah Brant. Now I wonder, because you know, whenever they change the dynamic, does this mean that I don't know why this thing is still shaking. Because like I can't even, okay. So what I'm wondering is, has like, because I don't watch Queer Eye. Like I ain't watched Queer Eye since the original Fab Five, and that would be with Carson Kresge, Kyan Douglas, Jay Rodriguez, and all of them. That was back in the day when I watched, and they had that, that fabulous theme song, which I think it was Simone Denny or one of them at Pepper Mache. One of them divas sang that damn theme song. That was one of the main reasons why I watched it. I was like, yeah, I give me that old Chelsea Pots and Pans house music. I used to listen to with the, you have the big divas singing over the house beat. I used to love that damn show. But then when they brought this new on, I ain't particularly care for a lot of them because I just felt like y'all were just loud and annoying. So I didn't really watch this new season, or the not even new season, the new iteration, I should say. And so let me know if y'all have been watching Queer Eye. Like, how has Jeremiah Brent been? I do like Bobby Burke, and we do got some tea on him in a second that we're gonna get to. But they've traveled around the United States, trying to make over people and give them better lives. The show has been nominated for 37 Emmys. I'm sure they were just nominated for more Emmys. Wait, I don't know. I didn't really look at the Emmys, the full list, because I don't think they're considered daytime. I think they would be nominated for primetime Emmys. But out of the 37 nominations, they've actually won 6 for Outstanding Structured Reality Program between 2018 to 2023, before eventually losing to Shark Tank last year. Okay, so it's prime time because Shark Tank is a night show. So, yeah, I'm not really big on the whole Queer Eye show. And then when I was hearing the stuff about how y'all treated Bobby Burke, that even made me not like the show even more. But speaking of Bobby Burke, let's get into his old fine self. So Bobby Burke is out here spilling tea. And while these hoes is about to, the Fab Five is about to be unemployed, Bobby Burke done got himself a new job because, according to reports, he just got him a new situation over there at HGTV called Junk or Jackpot, which is going to be produced, or executive produced, I should say, by John Cena. Let me find out John Cena likes the interior decoration stuff. So the 6-episode first season of the series, which is slated to premiere later this year, follows collectors as they discover the true monetary value of the massive and unusual collections. Per HGTV's description for Junk or Jackpot, which is basically the working title, so they may actually change the name. Although I don't mind Junk or Jackpot, I think y'all should keep it. And it says, from an overwhelming stash of superhero figurines to cramped spaces stuffed with rare puppets and dolls and miniature sets that leave no room for actual life-size furniture. I'm like, Jesus, y'all got more figurines than you do actual furniture? They said these homes are begging for professional help, and the collectors must decide whether they are willing to sell some of the items or pay for the much-needed renovation. With a combination of humor, compassion, and a celebration of the passionate collector in all of us, Bobby will support the homeowners through the process of sorting through, appraising, and letting go of their stockpile, discovering the found money along the way to achieving their dream makeover. The show is produced by 44 Blue Productions for Warner Brothers Discovery on HGTV. So I'm wondering, because, this sounds like a show I actually would check out. And I do like some of them home furnishing type shows. Like, I like HGTV. I like stuff like that. So, I know that they're talking about, because, they officially they turned HBO, they turned Max back into HBO Max as of yesterday, even though y'all should have never changed the damn name, to be honest. And I know they're sectioning off different iterations of HBO Max, so I'm hoping that this show will end up on HBO Max so I can check it out, because I don't have cable. I don't have any way of watching a lot of these home goods type shows, but I think that I have seen a couple of the home goods shows that are on HBO Max, so I'm thinking that the show might actually pop up on there and I'll be able to see it. So I'll definitely check this out. Shout out to Bobby Burke for actually having himself a little gig over there at HGTV. We all knew that he was going to find a new job. The rest of them hoes is going to have to find some. Well, Karamo got Karamo, so he's good. over there with his talk show, which I have yet to see an episode of that. So it said, collecting, well, this is what Bobby said. Collecting is a personal pastime that brings joy and inspiration, but it's easy to get carried away, which can negatively impact your living conditions. I'm excited to help passionate people sift through their cherished items and give them reimagined spaces that will best honor what they hold dear. And here's what John Cena had to add. He said, the idea for Junker Jackpot was born out of a conversation I had with friends. People often wonder if their collections are trash or treasure, and this show will help them find out. And I think we like stuff like that. Like, I like looking at people's memorabilia. I like seeing things that what people are interested in, the things they collect, and seeing like, yeah, is this little toy that I have, you know, wrapped up in this thing that I never opened, is it worth something? And you'd be surprised what kind of money you're sitting on, you know, when you, you know, whatever it is that you like to collect. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you happy? I mean, you looking forward to seeing this new Bobby Burke series? And are you sad to see Queer Eye finally coming to? Is it shady that I'm saying finally coming to an end? It's like that Queer Eye after 10 seasons, Netflix is finally putting the nail in the coffin. The final nail in the coffin, I should say. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. You said, wait, I'm gonna make sure I got to all of them. Oh, so Enumbria says, I used to like the generic early on. Now I like to watch them pretend. Okay. Because it was like, in the beginning, it was like, yeah, when y'all don't know each other, y'all so excited you got a job. It's like, yeah, we all get along. Oh, you know, them queens can't stand to be in the same room together. Oh, we got the new season of Big Brother. Oh, I gotta see when the new season. I gotta check out and see has the new season of the challenge ended. I mean, started yet? Season 41. Hold on, let me check and see. I know I'm supposed to be in the middle of a show. We got 3 topics left, so let me No, it's not on Tubi. Tubi. First of all, Tubi be having some good damn movies. I was on there the other day. So we got the challenge 40. Where is, oh wait, so all I see is season 40. I don't see if season 41 is up yet. I gotta see when that new season starts though. Who cares about some damn Love and Hip Hop? I don't know how many people still sit and watch that trash box of a show. But we got RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah, I have to check later on, but I don't think the new season is out. And then I'm sure y'all probably heard that story. One of the teen moms got is being thrown in jail over some what she was selling drugs or something or other that apparently killed somebody. Because you know there's this big thing that goes around now that if you were a drug dealer and somebody ODs on your supply, you end up going to prison. I said Bobby and the fashion one are the only ones I still drinking. Like, you talking about 10 France? I did like that show that he was on, even though it's funny enough, you bring up him in the fashion one, which would be Tan. Those two, remember when they was at one point they was butting heads. So it's funny how you like the two that was butting the most heads on the show. When Tan went and posted something but didn't tag, and that's when we all knew there was some tea going on behind the scenes, that Tan posted something, I guess, about the show and didn't tag Bobby in it. He tagged like some old Instagram page that was like a page Bobby barely uses. And people noticed because the sleuths was sleuthing and they called it out. And so, yeah, Tan, I liked him when he was doing that show, the fashion show. What's it called? Next in Fashion? When that was on Netflix and they had Alexa Chung, which she could never last past one season whenever she hosting something. I don't know, maybe it's her personality or the lack thereof. And then the season 2, they brought on Gigi Hadid, but they ain't bringing that show back. I like that show. But I'm just looking forward to Project Runway because that new season looked good. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I like my fashion shows too. And you said Bobby wasn't paid enough. I don't care what they paid him. It wasn't enough. Oh, you know that Netflix don't pay nobody nothing any damn way. Makes me think of the new season of Antiques Roadshow. Oh, yeah, I used to love me some Antiques Roadshow. Mm-hmm. I said John Cena's a part of it. That shocked me when I read that. And I'm sure John Cena's producing stuff with Warner Brothers, especially because, you know, he has Peacemaker season 2 coming out, which I think that comes out next month. So I'm looking forward to that new season. I'm like, I don't want to have to rewatch the old season because y'all be taking too long to put up shows. Okay, y'all. So now let's get into some Drag Race news, where Willem is out here spilling tea. She recently did an interview with Lady Gaga. Hold on a second, if I could pull that up. Damn it! I wish I would have. Where am I going? TikTok. I was like, where we going? We going to the TikTok? Wait, the first thing I see popping up is T.S. Madison, them boobs. So hold on, where is the search? Let's look up Willem. I think this might be the same interview that she ended up doing. Yeah, I'm glad that was the first thing that popped up. So, hold on. So now we're gonna play this clip because I was like, yeah, I want to show y'all this in case y'all have not seen it. Where she was talking about RuPaul and why I guess they had their fallout. I know everybody was saying like, and I've had people jump in my line saying like, she always trying to latch on the whole RuPaul Drag Race. She wasn't nobody before the show. And I'm like, first of all, y'all are bugging because I used to watch Willem on a lot of TV shows, Boston Public. She was on Nip Tuck. She was on a lot of shows before I knew her on RuPaul's Drag Race. There was a lot of the girls that were on other shows before they got on Drag Race, just like Raja was on America's Next Top Model working behind the scenes before she went on as a drag queen and ended up winning her season. So Willem has been out here doing little things, but RuPaul's Drag Race, yes, that is like, we could say was her big breakout because she's more known for that than on her previous stuff, especially when she had to remind all of us all the shows that she's been on and all the actors that she worked with, which rubbed a lot of people from that show the wrong way. So I basically knew Willem from a lot of those other shows in the past where she was definitely giving you messy man in a dress. So let's play this clip of her talking about why she and Ru don't get along. Please hold.
Yes, I can. If you had RuPaul in a room, just the two of you, what would you say to her? I would ask her if she went to visit her friend Matthew yet, because I know she hasn't seen him in a while. He used to do her hair and her makeup and her photography, her retouching, basically everything except make the outfits. And Matthew is not on set anymore, and he's not able to work. And the good people at World of Wonder are nice enough to foot the bill for his care, but nobody goes to visit him, which is weird, other than me. I see the sign-out sheet. So yeah, I would ask her if she visited Matthew recently, because, you know, she always credits her crossing over and finally making it to the fact that she adopted this big blonde supermodel persona at the time, and the person that put that on her was a gentleman named Matthew Anderson, who's amazing. If you don't know who Matthew is and you're hearing about him for the first time now, look him up. He did the little dot on Janet in the Gonna Make video. He's done so many legendary looks. A lot of the top model looks that everybody grew up seeing with Raja doing. Raja was there because Matthew. The pink eyebrow, no doubt Gwen Stefani phase, ex-girlfriend, that was Matthew. He's done so many iconic looks. So check him out.
They're gonna assassinate you. You can't say that.
Just
Yeah, so I just wanted to play y'all that clip or whatever the case was, just that way I could see. And yeah, I was like aware of Matthew Anderson. I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I remember when I lived in LA, it's not really a long story, but there was this house in Silver Lake. The front part of the house was a vintage shop. A homosexual couple owned it. Oh, I guess one of them. I don't really know, but in the back part of the store, which I don't think they were supposed to be renting it out, I actually rented out a space because they had houses and stuff out there. So I didn't live in an apartment when I lived in LA. I lived in an actual house and was renting out a part of the house, the back part of the vintage shop. And Matthew, from the stories they would tell me, and then on like over the weekend, I think like on Friday specifically, they would do like little some people would come there and do stand-up. That's where I met oh my god, the trans girl that played Pinhead in the Hellraiser remake. They also knew Daniel Franzese. So I was like, I was meeting all of them when they was up when they had like that when they would have little events and stuff there. So Matthew would actually come to that vintage shop, and I think that was around the time when his brain was, going off the rails, because apparently he had I don't want to get too specific in what the issue is because I don't know if it's my place to even be telling me that, but I heard the tea on what caused his mental decline and why he started getting sick and now he's in hospice care. So a lot of that was happening, and then World of One apparently was paying for it. Willem was getting upset because it was like, if this man helped you put your ass on the map and gave you the whole supermodel glam look, because girl, you was out here looking like, you know, you was doing gender fuck drag. That was the kind of drag that Rue was doing, where she out here skinny, you know, natty wigs, looking like literally giving prostitution whore with her look. You already know, like, if you look over the years, the star booty, the hooker look and stuff, that was RuPaul's kind of aesthetic. And then when he wanted to cross over the mainstream, he started doing all the glam stuff. So what basically is Willem is telling you is that Matthew had a hand in trying to help her get that look. The minute she pulled that look together and then started working with Michael T, who's still around making fabulous music, by the way, that's when all of that spun off and Rue became the big superstar that he is today. We can get into the highs and the lows. We ain't here for that. But for the most part, it's like, yes, Matthew Anderson had a hand for many years or decades, I should say, for Rue's look. And even at one point was the person that was putting her together on RuPaul's Drag Race until he got too sick to do the job. And that's when they brought in Delta Work. That's when they had Raven. And we already know the story about Delta Work and no longer being a part of that show or working behind the scenes. And so then now Rue's look is a little more, you know. Well, who better to have somebody making a black woman look like a black woman than somebody like Raven, especially with all that damn tanner she be wearing. So, you know, Willem has a gripe with Rue. Even at one point, them two having a shouting match and saying F you, no F you, all that stuff, because Willem confronted her on why didn't you go and visit Matthew? Like, you should go visit. I was like, child, this is where I got to stay out of grown people's business. But I guess she felt like, you know what, that's supposed to be your friend. This person helped you out in so many ways. But child, let me tell you, somebody told me something that Rue said, and this was what makes me like, I would never want to meet her. They always say, don't never meet your heroes. Somebody who is very close to her, and I have a lot of friends. Like, I know Lady Bunny. I'm friends with another friend of mine, DJ Tennessee, who worked very close with Rue back in the day. I know I should not be spilling names, but I don't even think they care. And also, there was another friend of mine who was a DJ who used to work with like Harmonica Sunbeam, a lot of other people within the clubs. And who was also, shout out to Harmonica Sunbeam, that's another friend of mine. And it's funny how she was the very first queen that I came across when I first started going to gay clubs in New York. And she was the very drag queen I encountered. And then we just became good friends after, you know, years later, especially like when we ran into each other at the Big Apple Circus. And she was there doing like, she was emceeing or something or other. But anyway, so he told me that she had said, I can't wait until I become famous so I can get me some better friends. That was something that came out of Rue's mouth. Allegedly. I'm putting alleged, but that was something. When they told me that, I was like, oh no, I'm done. I was like, I would never want to meet that bitch. Now, I will watch RuPaul Drag Race because it's entertaining. But now that I know some of the stuff that people have told me, I was like, I don't trust her. I don't put nothing past that lady. And especially where, you know, they've said certain things where y'all can't even speak when spoken to behind the scenes. Don't look at her, all that stuff. I said, oh, now was she the homosexual drag queen equivalent of Jennifer Lopez? Like, I can't look at you? Okay. So I know that was a little long-winded thing for us to get to the part with the Willem, but for some reason I was getting my nostalgic mode, and I was like, look, this is a show where we spill tea. Let me spill the tea. So now let's get into the story. So besides all of that, what y'all got from Miss Willem, she basically is speaking out about Lady Gaga when she did A Star Is Born with Shangela, and said that they were going to cut their scene, you know, the drag queen scene. And it's because, you know, Allie worked as a performer at a drag bar, and where she basically was first watched by Jackson, played by Bradley Cooper. Now, in the scene, they say Allie interacts with the bar's drag performers, played by Drag Race alumni Willem and Chandler. So I think what they want to do is, he comes to the drag bar to check her out. You can see the drag queens as, like, I guess, background fodder, but we're not going to show them backstage where they're interacting with each other. And they were going to cut the scene where they were interacting. And apparently, according to Willem, They said Gaga basically was like, oh no, we're not going to cut the scene from that. So now, speaking of Daily Mail about her career, Willem recalled, she said, in A Star is Born, we all got cast, and then we did the hair and makeup test, and we... Wait, hold on. Probably play that. Let me see if I can play that clip, because I actually came across it. Oh, wait, no, that we can't play that, because that's like 14 minutes, so I'm just going to have to read it to y'all. And if y'all want to see the whole clip or whatever, you can go on YouTube and check it out. Daily Mail Entertainment, basically, they have the whole YouTube video up there. So then they also said, she said, I was at Tom Daly's wedding to Dustin Lance Black, and between the rehearsal dinner and the ceremony, I got a text saying, terrible, terrible news. All your scenes have been cut. Willem recalled the difficulty of trying to enjoy Daly and Black's wedding after learning that she wouldn't be in the film, having already told her loved ones about the role. And that's always the worst thing if you're an actor, where you're telling people, oh, I just got this part. I'm going to be in this movie. I got to act alongside Lady Gaga. And then when you go to the movies, the damn scenes is cut. Oh, I would be so tight. But that's what happens, unfortunately, when you're an artist or an actor in this business. You're always at the mercy of these filmmakers, and then you can end up with your scenes cut. So she said a week later, they called and checked my availability, and they said, okay, it's back in, because Lady Gaga fought for our inclusion of the drag queens in the movie. Thanks, Gaga, we love you. This is what Willem added. Now, Mother Monster fans are raving about her show, are raving about her show of true LGBTQ allyship, saying Gaga could have stayed silent and wouldn't have been taken against her and could have blamed the producers, but she didn't. She fought behind the scenes. That's a true gay icon there, she wrote. Or one wrote. Another person wrote, love hearing about Gaga fighting for the drag queens to stay in the movie. That's an ally. Now, Gaga's been an advocate, as y'all know, for the LGBTQ plus community since the beginning of her career. Back in 2009, she refused to deny rumors that she had a penis, saying, why the hell, wasn't that around the time that, what's his name? Anderson Cooper asked on that. And it's funny how it's like, okay, you got the homosexual up in here asking a cisgendered woman whether or not she got a dick. Or she was a hermaphrodite or something, because I think that's what they was implying. She said, why the hell am I going to waste my time and give a press release about whether or not I have a penis? My fans don't care, neither do I. Oh, yeah, so it was Anderson Cooper. She went on to release, as you know, Born This Way in 2011, which is basically Express Yourself Part 2, which became the first song to mention trans people to the top of the Billboard chart in the U.S. No matter gay, straight, or bi. As she would say. What's the other part of it? It's a no matter black, white, or beige, and the Orient age, I was born to be brave with the transgender life. You know how that damn song go. So, it's no matter gay, straight, or bi, lesbian, transgender life, right? I don't know. It just all of a sudden it came to me in my head. But anyway, besides all of that, you know what? I love our allies. Say what you want about Lady Gaga, and believe me, I have. But, I'm here for when the allies come and really show support, because it is true. Lady Gaga did not have to come out and fight for the gays and the drag queens to be included in the thing. It's just like, drag queens exist. Cisgender women, like a Lady Gaga, who have great, great voices. A lot of them perform in queer spaces. Before, I think, if I'm not mistaken, before she was even famous, Bette Midler was performing in gay bathhouses. So there is that sense of that. And if people are going to get mad, that is like, oh, you're seeing this in a film. I just don't understand why that's a big deal. Why can't we show diverse situations in movies? Because you worried about a small percentage of people getting upset because they're being exposed to something that they're not used to being exposed to. Oh, well, if you have a problem with it, don't go see the damn movie. But that movie ended up being a hit anyway. So, and I'm thinking it's probably because a lot of the homosexuals ended up coming to seeing A Star is Born, which has been remade like 8,000 times in theaters. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to what Willem had to say about Lady Gaga coming to the defense of the drag queens? Because at one point they were going to cut out their scenes, and that's the worst feeling to have, but luckily it didn't happen. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. You said Mother Monster Mayhem Ball starts in less than a week. Oh yeah, because I know she's been rehearsing, and I haven't seen any of the stuff. Because she is coming to my job next month, so I gotta start putting in my blackout days for the shows I don't want to work. Not necessarily Gaga, because I'm sure if she's doing 6 shows, I know I'm probably gonna be working quite a few of them, which I don't mind. But there's other events that are happening that I don't want to be a part of. Tony Hinchcliffe. I'm not trying to work that Kill Tony crap. He said I did it last year. It said Circus of Books. No, I worked. It was the actual circus, Big Apple Circus. He said I knew Daniel before he was in movies. He used to go to a club in Fort Lauderdale. I was at every weekend. I haven't seen him in person in a long time. Yeah, that was like maybe 5 years ago when I lived in LA. Mm-hmm. He said RuPaul may be famous, but he's not A-list famous. Only homosexual people know and care about RuPaul. Ru always seemed jealous of Willem in a way. He probably is. And I truly don't believe that the girls of Drag Race, there's ever going to be any. He don't want them to surpass him on that show. And the shade Ru threw at Fifi at the All Stars 2 reunion was very much mean and unnecessary. That wasn't the only time that she's been mean, but we see that mean streak on that show. And one of my friends was like, yeah, it's like, oh, y'all don't know the half of it of how Ru is. It's like, we go back decades. It's like, oh, I know. Because I remember the stories you used to tell me. And that's why I be loving sometimes how, Lady Bunny be calling out Ru on certain things. Meanwhile, the queens made Hollywood. He said, is it really Express Yourself Part 2 if the first part never explicitly? I'm talking about the production. So that's where that read came from. There's always got to be a little dig. That wouldn't be me if I didn't do it. But anyway, okay, so now let's move on to some more Drag Race news. Since we was talking about RuPaul and that streak of hers that she be having, that mean streak. Because apparently, according to Selena Teases, during the season 15 reunion, Mama Ru ended up going off on the girls, which was cut out of the show. I kind of wish they would have kept it in. So now, as we've come to be, as we've become well aware, RuPaul is no stranger to letting fellow queens have it. Selena Teases recently spilled tea regarding some behind-the-scenes drama that went down during the RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15 reunion. Now, over countless seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race, all stars of various international spin-offs, the Queen of Drag has, or you should call her Mother of Drag, that's what you should have said, has handed competitors their answers for a variety of reasons, including after a lackluster performance on Season 7 Shakespeare Acting Challenge. Oh, please don't remind me of that mess. And the infamous H&M incident. Now we can add another roasting to the list, but this one was off camera. Now, speaking on RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Podcast, Sibling Rivalry with Bob the Drag Queen, guest star Selena Teases spilled the tea on the unaired RuPaul SmackDown. Now, Bob asked Selena the following. She says, you ever see RuPaul go off on anyone? And Selena said, she went off on us at our reunion, the season 15 reunion, off camera. Now, continuing with Selena, who placed 6th on season 15, added, our season was crazy. We had Mistress, Sugar, and Spice, and everyone was talking on every podcast and going crazy everywhere. Miss Teases then added, I got reprimanded because it was right after my situation. And the situation, for y'all who are unaware, now there was an incident that happened. I think it was because Ross Matthews was giving some advice or giving some criticism, I should say, as a judge. Because sometimes I'll be looking at y'all on there and I'm like, okay, the judging is inconsistent. It don't make no sense. I'm like, huh? How you go in and you say one person, and then when you give the same type of criticism to somebody else, it's a different situation. So y'all, the inconsistency in the judging has always bothered me, especially like recently, how the same type of commentary that you gave to Lexi Love during season 17's Snatch Game, you gave the same critique to Cuckoo. But you send Cuckoo home and then you save Lexi. So make it make sense. So I just feel like that is inconsistent. Because I guess maybe y'all just be in the moment and going on vibes, but we be paying attention. And so I just felt like it was just a way y'all didn't want, they didn't want I feel like in my heart of hearts, they didn't want Cuckoo to make it as far as she did. They did not expect her to be in the semifinals. Maybe they thought it'd be Denali, which our next topic after this is basically we're getting into the SmackDown for the crown, who we think is going to actually be picked by the judges. So I don't want to jump in that too much yet, but with the whole Selena Cities thing, she didn't like some of the judging that, I guess, the critiques that Ross was giving her. And basically what she said, when I guess she was doing like was it like a watch party or something or another? Because, you know, sometimes the girls, they don't all go to Costco's. They don't all go to Roscoe's. Sometimes, you know, they host their own little parties. Because I remember in New York, Nymphia Wynn was also doing hers during her season, which was 16. So she basically told Ross to eat her ass F word during a viewing party. So I guess Rue got into her. But I'm like, that would have made good TV. But I guess they want to say all that because, you know, low key, some of these producers behind the scenes is getting mad because a lot of these girls are going on Roscoe's to sit up next to Naisha and them and be spilling tea, or they go on other people's YouTube channels and spilling things, or they do it on their own YouTube channel and people are getting all upset about it. But I'm like, look, we want to know the behind the scenes stuff. We know we're not going to get it from the reunions or whatever. And quiet as it's kept, I feel like after season 15, did we even get a reunion with season 16 or season? I don't even think we got one. We got to bring back my girls. We did get that. But look how long we had to wait for that one. And then season 17, we haven't gotten one for a reunion. Y'all went right from the Lollapalooza SmackDown to the finale. There was no reunion. Which I'll probably go, well, I don't, is there even DragCon happening this year? I don't even think it is. So we probably not even going to get one unless y'all going to plan on filming Bring Back My Girls somewhere else. I don't know what they're doing with that. So yeah, we haven't gotten a real reunion in the past 2 seasons. So if these girls can't sit and basically tell their side of the story or tell their narrative beyond the edit of a reality competition show, then what are they supposed to do? But then Rue's up in there doing what she got to do at these girls, and they're supposed to take it. But I really would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to find out what exactly did she say to them. So yeah, she says that, but I could totally understand why she would go off on Sugar and Spice and Mistress, all of them, because they was all being messy in that damn season. The cross talking and the how the twins be acting annoying at times when we see them on the show. It's like, okay, I need y'all to shut up because I'm trying to host the show here. Like, stop it. So I could definitely see why maybe at some points Rue was frustrated, but I need more context. So now Mistress is, as you know, is they say is currently about to enter episode 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10 after sowing chaos, destruction, and tomfoolery all season long. So yeah. And then I already saw like the first 12 minutes of the show where they where Mistress is upset because she was in the bottom 2. And how she was trying to poke the bear of, she was trying to get all up in Aja's face. And that was an intense sequence. And even it looked like at one point, some of the girls wanted to jump in, but it was like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. But we're going to let Aja handle it because she was like, look, I just want to backhand this girl, but I don't fight butch queens. I'm a lady. I was like, you better ring her, bitch. But I was like, you don't want it for these New York girls because we will eat y'all up and spit you out like old nasty, unseasoned meat. That's how we do. But and I get it. Mistress want to be entertaining and all this other stuff, but girl, it's getting old. It's getting tired. Like, where's the variety? And like, you got to be able to offer something. Like, you need to be worrying about winning a challenge instead of just trying to, break the fourth wall, looking at the camera and being messy for messy's sake. It gets old after a while. Like, if you had the talent and you was being messy, if you was balancing it out, I think it would be an easier pill for people to swallow. But when the messiness is outweighing the talent aspect, because you be talking to us, everybody knows my talent. No, bitch, we don't. We know you can walk a runway and your face, your mug is sickening. But what else are you giving us besides that? It's called charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. So you do got nerve. Charisma? That's TBD. Uniqueness? I mean, I guess maybe the uniqueness comes in your waistline. But the talent, It's like we have yet to see all that because you up in there being messy and you doing Natalie Nunn. That was a chop. Like I said, you should have been Mama Fratelli from the Goonies. That's what you should have been up there. That probably would have been funnier. But yeah, I would have definitely have loved to have seen like what what it was. But it was just like I guess it was so much drama going on that season that that was why she went off on her. So the new season, the new episode of All Stars 10 airs tomorrow. I'll be watching per usual because I got to see what happens. And normally I don't be watching the sneak peeks that they be posting on YouTube. But for some reason, I was like, I already know this is going to be that clip that we need to watch. Like the big thing with her and Aja. I knew that was going to be in the beginning. So I was like, you know what? I can't wait till Friday. I got to watch it. So I watched it. And I was definitely seething. I was so annoyed. Like I wanted to dive through the TV and backhand her my damn self. But it's a TV show. It is what it is. I'm sure Aja and her is good right now. Like Aja just went on Mistress show, so they pretty much, it's water off a duck's back. They're not letting thing, come between them and all that other mess. So, once we get past all that, so we realize it's just a TV show. Let's just enjoy it for what it is and not take it too damn seriously. It's just drag, as they would say. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are overall on the whole thing of what you think, RuPaul, the transpiring of it all was behind the scenes. I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Right. You said rude as Tyra. Oh my God, we were rooting for you. It'd be funny. She probably did say that, right? I remember when he went off after the Vixen walked out. Yeah, that they kept that in. We haven't heard from the Vixen since. I know she was doing her little what was it? She was doing her little touring thing with a bunch of the black queens, which I actually like that she was doing. I forget what it was called, but she was out here doing her thing, post the show. I said this past week, Carson critiqued Lydia for having an unsteamed dress after she just revealed it under a suit. A very dumb critique just to put her in the bottom 4, which they've never done. Are you talking about the new episode or was that last week? Because I don't remember. No shade. I fell asleep on last week's episode. And I didn't even care enough to go back and rewatch what I missed. So if you're doing something that's like it's a reveal, it's like, yeah, I guess based off the type of fabric, it will wrinkle, which that's something you have to worry about. Not imagine seeing some of the queens in Costco. I wouldn't be surprised. they shop like the rest of us. Mistress also said they cut out a lot of her and Aja's snatch game to make them look the fool. Yeah, I could definitely believe that because it's like you give a whole lot. They're only going to go for, the sensationalism because I guess for time and all that other stuff. She definitely did show restraint because I would have just been like, you don't, like, besides the fact that you doing too much, what do you mean? Bitch, you know what the hell you doing. You doing too much. Like, you doing too much because you want a moment. Like, I'm literally having a moment where I'm being vulnerable and I'm speaking out about, like, what I was going through during Snatch Game. And you up in here giggling. Oh, I can laugh if I want to, bitch. We know you could laugh if you want. But what you're not going to do is kiki and laugh and do all this other stuff at my expense. Because now that's a trigger. And now I'm going to have to go off. And I don't give a good goddamn how these people that's feminists take it. And then trying to move my hair and then all up in my ear. Because you touch me, it's fighting words. It's like, no, now I'm going to have to backhand you. Like she did threaten to do during the confessional. It does get tired with her and it always be. As I say, it gets boring after a while. It's like, yeah, we know we love drama. We like it if it's warranted. Stop producing the drama. Stop just going in and literally just like, oh, well, it's boring in here. So I feel like picking on a queen today. Like, it needs to feel like natural shade, natural drama. Kind of like, and I hate to bring her up because I'm sure she's matured since then. Kind of like, the season with Fifi and Sharon Needles. And then her going in on her and then her going in on Jinx Monsoon. Or else. Like, that was real competition. Like, you feeling insecure. And that's like real competition type poking the bear. Or when Roxy got into it with them, well, Roxy, we started seeing more of her being on her shady side, kind of sort of after Fifi got, eliminated. Then we saw that side come out of Roxy. So that's kind of what I wanted. It's got to feel natural. Like, stop trying to really, because I've been catching something. I don't know if y'all notice it, but sometimes I be looking and be seeing like Mistress be kind of glancing over at production. It's like, stop looking at them because we see what you're trying to do. But anyway, let's get into our final topic. And let's talk about since we speaking about, apparently I can't talk today. Let's try that over. Take two in action. All right, now since we're talking about Drag Race All-Stars 10 and the finale and all that good stuff, let's get into this topic. So, All-Stars 10, the finale officially will be airing next week, where we will see, I mean, we didn't get the second to the last episode. That's usually in like maybe less than 24 hours, about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess midnight on the West Coast. But you know, everybody's wondering especially because this is like they're doing a talent show in this episode. They're also, I don't know if you saw it, but they're also gonna be doing a reading challenge, which was cute. It wasn't like laugh out loud funny, but some of the reads was funny. It was a cackle. I cackled a little bit, but you know, but then in addition to that, next week is the lip sync SmackDown for the Crown. So we are episode 11 tomorrow, episode 12, which is the finale, is next week. And so with all that being said, you know, everybody's wondering who's actually going to appear, who's going to be the final, you know, that wild card pick that is going to be in All-Stars. So All-Stars 10 last format twist will see one eliminated queen reintroduced into the finale's lip sync SmackDown for the Crown as a wild card. Excuse me, but who will it be? Now, All-Stars 10 is taking viewers of RuPaul's Drag Race spinoff through more twists and turns than the most recent seasons of The White Lotus and The Last of Us combined. In a difference to all previous All-Star seasons, the first 9 episodes saw 3 episodes each dedicated to selected 6 queens. And only the top 3 from each bracket of the tournament-style points-based system were declared winners. Then those 9 queens, Aja Bosco and Irene the Alien from Orange Bracket, George's Lydia B. Collins, and Mistress Isabel Brooks from Pink Bracket, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine, Diabetica, and Ginger Minj from Purple Bracket, advanced to the semifinals after a lengthy filming break for 2 episodes of other different franchises' first eliminated format. And, you know, from Cuckoo, it took about 9 months for them to, you know, in between for them to come back and film the final 3 episodes. But in one last flourish, All-Stars 10 will be implementing the wild card twist at some point before the season's final lip sync SmackDown for the Crown. Now, they said, as announced by Ru upon the elimination of each bracket's bottom 3 queens, all hope is not lost. Before the final episode lip sync tournament for the Crown, one queen who had been eliminated will be brought back, but how are they chosen? Well, as with all of the RuPaul's Drag Race, the All-Stars 10 wild card will be down to the judges. Each regular judge on the panel will select who they believe deserves to re-enter the competition. This could be someone who didn't make it through the preliminaries, or as revealed in episode 10, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, or the queen eliminated in episode 11. By a regular judge, we mean Michelle Visage, Carson Kressley, Ross Matthews, T.S. Madison, and maybe Laura Roach. I wonder if they'll also bring in Jamal Sims, or is he not really a judge? I think he's more or less a celebrity judge, but he does partake a lot in the show, so he might not be one of the judges. But I'm guessing it'll be Michelle, Carson, Ross, T.S. Madison, and Laura Roach, because Laura is sort of a permanent staple, although I've been saying for the longest, I'm going to keep sticking with it. I do think that Ross Matthews and Carson Kressley needs to be given the Santino Rice treatment. I do think they've overstayed their welcome. I think they offer nothing to the show, judge or critique-wise. I just feel like y'all just don't know what to say anymore, and that hunger and that fire isn't there. So it's time for y'all, in the words of Mama Ru, to sashay away. Now, let's get into who we think might be the one that will be brought back and who I actually think. I mean, if y'all watch this show long enough, when I be talking about All-Stars, I think I pretty much know who my choice is. So we don't know who All-Stars 10 wildcard queen will be unless it's been leaked on Reddit. I haven't been over there, so I have no idea who the queen is because y'all leak every damn thing else. I mean, quiet as it's kept, the rumor mill's already swirling with the queens from All-Stars 11 has already been chosen, and those names are already out there on Reddit. So, and we did that segment the other day. So in my opinion, well, basically their picks is Denali, who competed. Oh, this is Pink News, by the way, where I got the story from. Denali, who competed on the purple bracket, and Tina Burner, who competed in the pink bracket, both of whom originally appeared on season 13 of the show. The reason of both of these sections will be only queens of the preliminary rounds who actually place in the top 2 for a challenge. Denali for Purple Stage Cooch Country Girl Group Challenge, and Tina Burner for the Magic 8 Ball in the pink bracket. And funny enough, while they talk about those two, and I like Deja Sky, and I like Denali, and I also like Tina Burner. Tina Burner's a New York queen, so that's why I'm rooting for her. I like Denali because Denali was definitely stepping her pussy up in this season. And Deja Sky, you know, she's kind of like, you know, the other cuckoo. She's like the heart of the show. She was the heart of her bracket. So I would love to see her. And she's very congenial and you know, when she goes about herself. So I would love to see her as part of it. However, if I had to choose out of these three, you already know my money is on Denali. That's who I really want to make it because I would really love for her to have made it in the finale. And to me, personally, I feel like if we're doing a lip sync SmackDown for the crown, Denali is tough competition. And I feel like for TV purposes, she would make an excellent choice. So then they said whoever's eliminated in the next episode, All Stars 10 will want their wild card to be someone with production value and fierce drag. Like I literally just said, it's unlikely that Georges or Ginger Minge will get taken out. Well, we already know the tea between those two, so you ain't got to worry about them eliminated. So they said, so if God forbid Messy Isabel Brooks or Diabetica get eliminated, you can bet they'd be at least one judge's wild card pick. I doubt it because I don't think Diabetes will get. I don't think she'll probably be eliminated. I don't know. It depends on. I have to see tomorrow's episode to even determine who gets taken out. But in regards to Messy Isabel Brooks, I feel like at this point, if she does end up getting eliminated based off of her challenge performance, because I already know in this sense, everybody is going to be looking at. Oh my God. Irene the Alien, because remember when she did hers, that was a mess. The ice water. Because I think she was trying to do something similar to what Willow Pill did with the spaghetti in the tub and something that weird. So I think that was her version of her trying to do something similar, which is why, of course, yeah, that was just really bad. But I feel like when y'all do those, y'all should not be eliminating no queens because y'all didn't eliminate nobody during the last season when season 17, when they did their little talent show thingy. So I don't think people should be eliminated in that episode because it's showing off talents. Now, if you want to have like people, I don't know, just do it like how y'all did with that season. But I don't think people should be eliminated for that. But I mean, Ellen, you know, everybody's gonna be literally watching her because it's like, sis, that was bad. So we want to see how you fare in this whole situation. So she'll probably redeem herself like she's been redeeming herself the whole season. But in regards to the whole situation, I feel like it's come to like we've had enough of Mistress and the shenanigans. So unless she steps it up in regards to the talent show situation, she might be the one to go home. And if she does end up going home in the next episode, I don't think she should be given the wild card. I think the wild card should be given to someone who has not been obviously chosen to make it into the finale. But definitely could show like I can eat up the floor with these girls. Like you need somebody who could really go up against these girls in regards to performance. You already know Georges eats when it comes to the performance. That's her thing. Which is she even alluded to that when she was during the confessional before in the little beginning of the episode before we got to the Aja fight with Mistress. She was about, oh yeah, I better not get eliminated in this episode because it's like I want to make it to the finale because you know that's what she does. She is a fierce performer, and we want to see that. So production, because they'll make sure she don't end up in the end because they know that's what they want. You know, for production purposes, that's what they know. They know that's where she excels, and they want to see that. They know the audience wants to see that. So to send her home early, that would make no sense. So. To wrap all this up, yes, my choice will be out of all of these Denali because we know Denali eats when it comes to live stage performance. She definitely would give these girls a run for their money, and they know for the sake of television, entertainment, and ratings, that is what the girls and the gays, or as I like to say, homosexuals, want to see. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Who do you think or who would you like to see, I should say, make it into the grand finale, that lip sync SmackDown for the crown? Those three choices, or anyone who's not any one of those three choices. As y'all already know from the beginning, my money has always been on Denali. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. Not Carrie. Carrie ain't even on the season. Oh wait, she is. What am I talking about? She is on the season. I'm bugging. Oh, you saying Carrie Colby should make it on? Nah. I mean, that's your choice, but You said, I think it's Denali because there were pictures of, yeah, that's what we said the other day, that when they did the confessionals, that the hair is, the length is different. So they probably had her do her pickups during when she came back, because they didn't get it before, because she was pissed off over that, her losing that last episode over Ginger. And she was like, oh, so we see the game y'all playing. Production wants to make sure, because they know Ginger is talented, but she lacks in the drag fashion department. So we want to make sure she makes it into the finale. I mean, the semifinals. So we're going to put, He said, I want to spoil it for you since you spoiled the top two for me, but decided not to. But Magical Mermaid already said, that's what I said. I already know it was Denali. I feel it in my gut. Oh, wait, you saying Carrie Colby makes it back? Yeah. You said Denali would have been a good choice. Yeah. He's not. Olivia Lux would have been a good choice too. They probably would have brought back Nicole, because she's been so popular and viral lately. Well, they probably filmed this a while before she's been really. Then she's been viral recently, and back when they filmed that, I don't think she really was doing that. So, I don't think they would have brought her back for that. They know, like, she's an old school queen, but she's not going to bring it, performance wise. I would have probably said Tina. I feel like she got sabotaged. A lot of the girls get a sabotage on the damn show. Yes, blame me. LOL. I'm actually team Irene and Bosco. Yeah, I like the fact that Irene has made it as far as she has. That's why I still am irritated, because I was like, during her season, she did not deserve to be eliminated first. There were far worse queens on that show. And that's why I'm glad that with season 11, All Stars 11, that allegedly rumors Lucky Stars is coming back. And so hopefully she'll be able to prove herself and make it as far as Irene has on the show. And watching that clip of Mistress and Aja go at it, Irene wanted to pipe in and say something. And it'd be funny if she probably did, but they probably edited it out. Every time Chris sees a queen gets a crown. Okay. Carrie probably had her mama call Wow to complain. Oh, he's Sasha Colby. He's like, bitch, you better bring her back. Speaking of bring her back, I need to see that damn movie. I've been hearing so many good things about it. Speaking of which, I also need to do because we're already in July, my top 10 favorite movies of 2025 so far. We did the one with the horror movies. I need to do my little list. So I might do that next week when we come back. But anyway, in the meantime, I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you have not already, please hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll be back on Monday with a brand new episode, because I'm going to be busy all weekend. Tomorrow, I have that Netflix boxing match that I got to work. So if y'all got Netflix, definitely check it out. I'll be working it. Also, Saturday, IKWYDLS performance. So I'll be doing his show. And on Sunday, ATEEZ, the K-pop group, they have a concert. So I'm working that. So Monday, I will be back on with a brand new episode of the show. So in the meantime, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for constantly supporting this messy show. And continue to kiki with me in the comments, during the live, because without y'all, I'd definitely be up in here looking like a crazy person talking to myself, which seems like a lot of people do. But anyway, love you all for watching. Thank you for the constant support. And until next time, which is next week, ciao, darlings.